Hey, all you freaks and geeks out there in podcast land. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Green Belt Botanicals. I'll give you more information about them later on in the episode. And now, on to the show. It's Wednesday, February the 24th, and you know what that means. Welcome, Freaks and Geeks, to another smoke-filled and jam-packed episode of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. The podcast where I meet with some of the most creative and influential people that I know to share stories from the ride of life. As always, I'm your host, the 512 Foot Doctor, coming at you live and direct from the one and only studio of Life or Death. If you're a returning freak or geek, thank you very much for checking back in to our regularly scheduled appointment. I hope you'll continue to listen and continue to tell freaks and geeks that you know about the podcast. If you're here for the first time, well, welcome. Welcome to the Freaks and Geeks family, and I gotta let you know, before we get going, before we get in the murky waters here, before it's too late, you need to buckle up for this ride. Yo, Freaks and Geeks, this is episode number 24. It's a monumental episode, 24 of volume 3, all right? And I called upon to a cat that I've been getting down with, you know. I've loved his style. I've loved what he's making, and I've loved what he's dropping tracks about. So we got a musician today, Freaks and Geeks. We've had a couple of musicians on the podcast before, and I hope you enjoy him. Now, this musician, rolling out of Texas, all right, holding it down out in the 210, all right, so 210 meets 512. So this episode is for the San Antonio cats out there, so I hope y'all dig this one, man. I peep the downloads, I peep who's listening, where we're listening from, and we got a lot of freaks and geeks out there tuning in from the San Antonio area. So, yo, this one's for y'all out there. So, without further ado, let's break right on into it. Coming from, like I said, San Antonio, holding it down in the rap game, really getting funky and really holding it down with the boom baps out there. He's a rapper. He's a producer. Oh my goodness, he's just an overall just creative mind, creative soul right here. He's killing it when it comes to making records, when it comes to making CDs, when it comes to making cassettes, when it comes to making digital music as well. There's a lot of detail and there's a lot of his personal self that he puts into his craft and his work. So, episode number 24, Freaks and Geeks, put your hands together for Baby Aztro. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Freaks and Geeks, what's good, man? I appreciate you having me on the show. Shout out to Doc, my man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So, how's everything up in San Antonio? You're living in San Antonio right now. Let's break it on to the Heinz 57 Life Catch Up, and just fill us in. What's going down? Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from, and tell us what do you do. I know I did that off top. I introduced you for a little bit, but I want the Freaks and Geeks to hear it from you. What's going down? What's your name? Where you're from, and what do you do?
Name's Aztro. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. This is home now. And I'm a rapper, artist, actually, we'll call it artist, with rap, whether it's music, whether it's art, painting, things like that.
Definitely. I think it's you have a lot of artistic aspects to you as well, and just different artistic approaches. So that's tremendous, man. I really dig on that.
Thanks, man.
What were you getting into earlier today, man? You know, we're still in this snowed out session, but
man. Man, I ain't been doing nothing but just sitting on my ass, man, just watching TV, man. But it's good to have that, because honestly, it's like if being in the house, it's good to have that time to step away because of all these distractions and stuff like that. You know, not even being in the house. Let's say I don't have this, but maybe I'd go make some music during this time. But it's like I can't do any of that since, you know, I'm staying with my parents and stuff for now with all of this blowing over. But it's still something to where it's like, man, I don't have that time to just let me sit down and just watch TV with nothing and not even think about music sometimes and have that step back sometimes. So it feels good, man. I can't lie.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely a reset. You know what I'm saying? Like, while it's nothing that we wanted to do, we're in kind of like another shutdown. You know what I'm saying? Because Freaks and Geeks right now we're still in this little snowed out portion in the state. We're fizzling out of this, and by this time, when this episode comes out next week, we'll be all fresh and everything like that. But yeah, man, it's just some weird stuff going on right now. We weren't expecting and we weren't prepared for some events. But we're gonna. So walk us through a typical day. Walk the Freaks and Geeks through a typical day for you from start to finish. What's going down? What time you like to wake up in the morning, my man?
Now I wake up, since I work the typical gig, I'm usually up about like 7. Okay. 7 is like the time I have to be up by 7. So it feels like, hey, that's the clock to where automatically I got to wake up. But normally I don't, if it's waking up first, it's either get my mind right to where it's listening to some music in any type of way. And it doesn't even have to be for purpose. If it's a song that was stuck in my head, I'll put it on and kind of just, chill in the studio or something like that. But that's kind of it, man. I don't really, especially with the quarantine and stuff like that. Since that shit started, like I'll just take that time to where I'll just chill at the crib and I will just, go in the studio, just kind of unwind on some shit like that. But I don't really, lately hasn't been doing much, man, to be honest, man. But yeah.
You open up with coffee? I think we talked about the Houston blend. We've talked about
that Houston blend. I do. Man, I had that actually within the past couple months, man. And I think now it's going to be my cold brew go-to, man. Cause it's like, man, it's so perfect. Like now, well, when I make the cold brew now, I'll kind of put usually use bottled water. Okay. Something like that to where it's, a smoother thing, man. Before I would just, you get the little sink water sometimes or kind of boil it up. And now it's like, man, it is a different taste, man. But it's like that Houston blend, man, is a cold brew. It's a mean one, man.
I have to check that out, man. Yeah, but I don't know what got me down on Houston blend, but my goodness, every time I talk about it, it's like, oh, that's the jam right there. I like it black, no cream, no sugar, and it just, oof.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. It's like, yeah, because I don't like sweet coffee, man. That shit just kind of is pointless. Believe it or not, man, I actually was not into coffee until I maybe started working, man. And it was that thing to where it was kind of in a training class, man, and I needed some coffee or I needed something to stay up. So when I had it, I was like, damn, this shit does, it works. And from there, I kind of started, getting on it since, man.
Oh, yeah. Now there's something about the flavors on that one specifically that you don't get. And it's weird, man. Like I'll get compliments from people at work, like saying, like, "What's your coffee?" Like that smells tremendous. I'm like, this is just coffee. There's nothing going down with it. That's what's going on with it. It's the good shit.
That hazelnut, man. That hazelnut is what's that kicker, man.
Got some stuff behind it, very sweet. And if you like, this is just a little tip from the Foot Doctor here. If you're getting down on the Houston blend and you're smoking a little fucking morning gas or afternoon juice, whatever, twisting up a little tuturoots, if you hit it with the fucking Houston blend, oh my god. Hit it and then take the sip, and on the exhale, it's gonna change the flavor of that fucking
Oh shit. Man, I'm on that, man. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, I can't explain it whatsoever aside from the flavor compounds that build up Houston.
Yeah.
My goodness. It's some really good stuff, man.
Man, I'm going to have to check that.
So what's up? What's going down for lunch and what's up with the evening? How does the rest of the day pan out for you, my man? If you're not like, if you're working, I know you got that, but like say you're off, what's your go-to? Like, aside from the typical day working, like what are you going to do if you're off just chilling out?
If I'm off chilling, it's got to be something related to anything I do, whether it's music, it has to be at least that. I'll go in there and try and if it hits me, it hits me. Now it's more since I've been getting into producing more and stuff like that. We'll try and see if I can, it's kind of approaching it without any type of plans that, hey, I'm gonna make something. So it's kind of just, I will go in the studio if it's like hearing something, playing a record. That'll be the start to kind of get in the feel. It's like, damn, if I hear something, all right, it depends on maybe what I feel. Now it's like stepping away from, not stepping away from sampling, but if it's like, depending on if I hear a good sample, well, hey, we're going to throw it in the machine, let's cook. Or if it's like, damn, I'm just feeling in a good mood to just maybe just not think, but then create something, that's where the instrumentals can come in, things like that. But that's normally on the day off, on like, or after work. Yeah, I gotta go in the studio and just kind of, and my studio's a lax, little atmosphere, but, a little home studio, man, and just kind of kick back and get some type of progression on the name, man. Progression on whether it's creating a new concept or adding on to a concept. You know, if something's already done, well, you know, when's the release? It's always something you can kind of be working on with each of these things, even though you're not doing shit. Write it down. There's something you're gonna think of to add it, and yeah, man, that's kind of it. I'm a bag in the wind after work, man.
There we go.
A musical bag in the wind. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, so you 9 to 5 cat, or what's going on there? Is that
I'm a 9 to 5, man. I do that. I hit the clock, man. I ain't ready to, you know, fully dive. You know, you got people that are successful musicians and they're broken a few years, man. So it's kind of that. It's not to say I'm opposed to that, but it's just kind of, this is the bread and butter to where shit, this helps me, you know, create these things to put out to people. So it's kind of, it doesn't feel like there's much pressure on that, especially with the type of music that I make. You know, I wouldn't say it's like that completely unique thing, but it's just in that thing to where you know, when you're at the mercy of the people, man, it's kind of like, you know, that you can't depend on that to kind of keep food in your mouth. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just like Andre 3000 said, you know what I'm saying, with the what was that shit? I live by the beat. Yeah. You know, I live by the beat. I live by the beat. Like, you need ends meet, like check to check. You know? Yeah, man. I'll think of it, man. I need to think of that shit. But it's like, from that, you don't move your feet, then I don't eat. So we like neck to neck. Like, just what he said with that, man, it's true. And it's not even just kind of being negative about it, but it's just, that helps with the balance of it to alleviate some of that. Damn.
That up elevators? Elevators.
Yeah.
Elevators. Yeah, elevators.
Yes, sir.
That should hit. Yeah, I seen Outkast one time out here in Austin.
Oh shit! Was it for ACL?
It was for ACL. That was one of the only times I ever heard of him coming through. But yeah, it was for ACL. The buddy Trent Albert from episode number 1, Freaks and Geeks. Go take a listen. He joined me, and it was pretty dope. Pretty dope.
That's dope, man. I wish I went to that shit, man. I was I don't know, man. I'm realizing now to where it's like some of those bigger acts. I want to catch him in those, not intimate shows, but, you know, I just kind of want to see you, man. I don't want to have to pay $400 so it's not even, you know, I have never been to ACL, but yeah, that should have been the time I went, man. Cause that's
the time I gone, man. And I feel really on you. Like, I'm not trying to see all these other heads, and I'm not trying to see an arena either.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in an arena, it's good, man. You take it. I'll see you later on. I'm going to catch you in a small club, just a small spot, but you can't do that with some of these heads. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to catch like big acts in these small clubs. They're always going to be at an AT&T Center or this Staples Center, anything like this, a huge just get up. So, you know, like I don't go into seeing musicians at venues like that. Just, it's not worth it. I'd rather catch you at a pop-up like at South by or something like that, something live.
Man, but that's hard, man. That's hard to try and, man, I haven't had any luck like that with the big show. You know what I'm saying? Not with South by. I don't mind the arenas. You know what I'm saying? I've seen quite a few of the best shows probably, you know, with the Yeezus tour, when I saw like Jay-Z, you know, with some of those people, it's like, shit, it's going to be the only way I can see them. So it's like, yeah, but I feel you on those arenas, man. Sometimes it's like, you know, and then bringing along the same, not washed up people, man, but just the same 3, 4, like, you know, B-level people that's like, man, I don't really want to see them, man.
No, man, if I can get you on GA, I'm in there. I'm in. Solid. Just work your way to the front. Be early, work your way to the front, and we'll all have a chance to get up there. So I'll take on it. What about the nightlife, man? You winding down? How you winding down the evening? What's going down there? You got like a show? Do you got like a specific process to capping the night off? What's up with that? This is the last little typical day for Baby Aztro here.
Night off, man. At night it is so it depends on how the success rate is, man. Mm-hmm. So after, if some music is made or if it's good, then you know, sometimes I'll just kind of normally just because I work early in the morning, man, that work all night shit, like I have to stop myself. So that way it doesn't, you know, that's kind of pointless to me, man. I'd rather kind of get to that stopping point, but around, depending on how that feels, man, then I'll just kind of take a break. Whether something's good or bad, hey, try and wrap it up before a certain time, because it's like at 8 or 9, just kind of working on that. That could be, you know, maybe something to work on. Hey, from fucking 5 to 12, music. But it's like, I try and take that time to where after watch a movie, Netflix, just kind of bullshit like that, man. I watch maybe just an old ass movie, man. And like from the 80s, all of that shit, just kind of plot again. That's where it's kind of, I'll be on my laptop and then I can kind of, maybe it's creating graphics or something like that.
Yeah, it's a mental refresh, a mental just pause. There you go. And you got to entertain yourself. You've been pushing out hot licks all day long. You got to back and get the rebuild for the next day, the rejuvenation for the next day. I got you, man. Astro, sure. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, man, I'm going to throw you. So these are more random questions. These are not like applied. These are just out the hat. So let's get into it real quick. A few more, then we'll close out the Heinz 57 Life catch-up. But here's a good one. I like it. All right, man. So they're making a movie about you. Holy shit. Let's get down. And they're like, yo, Astro, who's going to play you? Who's going to play you, my man? Who's your movie, your film? Who's going to play Astro? What's up?
Man, I think it was Shamik Moore. It's the guy from the Get On Down, from the Get Down. The guy from the Get Down, and he was also in Cutthroat City and stuff. Yeah. I think he's a good little, I think he could probably play me, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, he'd be it, man.
That's a new question. You're like the second cat.
That's dope.
That's what's up. All right. You got a bucket list? What's up with that? You got a bucket list?
What would be? I don't think of that, man. I don't think of the bucket list because it's like I don't like to think about death, man.
Yeah,
it's in that way, but it is a thing to where I've always tried to live by the just live, don't exist.
Yeah.
So it's in that, man. If it feels like I'm, but some things I don't know, like to do bucket list wise would be maybe just. I mean, it's seeing maybe certain concerts or things like that, but I don't have anything like in concrete just because it's like, that hopeful shit may not happen if you, but yeah, man.
Yeah, I see you on that because, you know what I'm saying? Like you put something on the bucket list and it's almost like this may happen or let's wait till this happens versus like, let's make this shit happen, So I like that. I hear you on that. Sure. Back to film. So you spoke a little bit about films and we spoke a little bit about who's going to play you in the next upcoming Baby Aztro joint. Sure. What's a movie that you can put on and just watch over and over and over again? Just hit that motherfucker on repeat. It's okay. Let's go for it.
Man, it's quite a few, man. It's a few as probably predictable as it is. I like it just because it's got so many different portions of it, man. But just Scarface, man. Okay. You can play that shit at any time. And it's just, it's always going to be a part of the movie that anybody's going to like, man. Or if it's not Scarface, and I like Minister Society. I can always have that shit play, man. Just an aspect of just everything, man. It's a good movie. What else? I like Dead Presidents. That's one of my favorite movies. So probably those I can just let them run front to back, man, and just nonstop, man. I love it.
Any comedy in that realm?
Actually, you know what? It's actually called Trippin'. Trippin' is probably one of my favorite like comedy movies, man. It stars Dean Richmond. It's damn, it's a halfway. I think Stacey Dash might be in it. I think, but no, it actually might be the girl that was in the show with LL Cool J. I think that's her. But a funny movie, man. Basically, a guy who's he's basically graduating, about to go to college, stuff like that, and it's kind of about that. But all throughout it, man, he daydreams a lot.
Yeah.
He daydreams a lot of funny ass skits, man. I'm telling you, man, you like one, man. And if you can lock it down, man, it comes in the type of movie, man. It comes in a 4-pack, man. It's a 4 thing. It comes with Trippin', How High, CB4. And man. So you'll be able to find a nice little thing on Amazon, bro. But you do a little thing, man, and you'll definitely enjoy it, man. With the Houston blend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it right there. My goodness. I tell you, Freaks and Geeks with a hot one here. This is a killer episode 24. Let's keep the ball rolling. On Scarface, you ever fuck with Carlito's Way? Have you ever?
Yes. That is a very, man. That's like a more calculated Scarface. I like that. Very gritty, man. I love it.
I love that film, man. It's a tremendous piece. I like often people will, kind of overlook that one when it comes to going all out and just being no holds bar for Scarface and Tony Montana like that.
That's the same. Actually, to build off that, it's kind of like I feel like it's a sleeper as well, although, Biggie goes by, but The King of New York, man. I love that movie just to where it's how it's that calculated, man. Yeah.
King of New York's a fucking killer right there. Oh, most
it is, man.
Definitely. You got any siblings, Astro? What's up with that?
I do. I have a sister.
Okay.
One sister.
Cool.
Yeah.
Older.
She's older. I mean, I'm sorry, she's younger. Yeah. she's 25.
I got you.
Yeah, 25.
All right, let's see. Just a few more on this one. I haven't asked this one, but this one's a question for the 90s heads out there. But did you ever get a virus on your family computer growing up? What about that?
Man, I did, man. From the Kazaa, from the Bear Share. Well, no, I said it happened because it was Kazaa. Yeah, and LimeWire. There you go. Kazaa and LimeWire. That Bear shit was kind of like, I didn't hear too many talking about that, man. So it was like, you didn't want to get too deep, man. Yeah. And not to mention, too, if you got too far ahead, it wasn't like no crypto shit to where it's like, yo, you hear the name and it's like, yo, everybody's on. But it's like you hear something a little too new. Well, you ain't going to find nothing, man. Yeah. If it was too new, you couldn't find nothing but just the hits, man, that were on the radio to where it's like, nah, man, we need that Kazaa. But yeah, that was the one, man, that got the viruses, man. God.
Yeah, I took down one at the house with mine as well, no doubt.
Bringing back those memories, man. Those viruses used to take stuff out, man.
What the fuck happened? I don't know, man.
I think I just clicked that, man. I don't know what happened. It was working fine before. You just got to play dub every time.
Oh shit, that's right there. Let's see. What was the name of the street you grew up on, my man? So you said you're a military cat, but what was the name of the street you grew up on?
Blue Juniper.
Blue Juniper.
Blue Juniper. That's the one from here, man. Where I remember the most. To where it's like I can't consider. I mean, there's there was Arnold Avenue to where that was the when I was in Alaska to where for that 8 years, but it was like certain years within certain parts where we were living off base, then living on base, but. It's going to be the Blue Juniper one, man.
All right, Blue Juniper. That's what's up. All right, let's knock out like two more. All right, I'm going to type a word here in the chat because Freaks and Geeks, we're on, and you might think this is a simple word, but I've heard this word said a lot. Now, I've never asked this question either. Now, how do you pronounce this word right there?
Water.
There we go, water. A lot of people do. Some people out of
water.
Water. Best of boys and waters yet. Yeah.
Let me get the extra water, B. Yeah, that's the only thing I know that for.
That's it right there. Okay, you got the test. You got the test. We'll keep it going. Let's see what's going on. Let's get to the last one. Listen, I haven't asked this one. What do you remember your first screen name or gamer tag? Do you remember that shit? Screen name. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Screen name I did, man. This is like, when I am and the chats was popping, man, I was a huge Afro Man fan.
Afro Man, I see.
It was Afro Man 808, man. That was it, man.
Yeah, I remember. Oh my goodness, one of the embarrassing ones. I went to the University of North Texas, and I was making my my Xbox Live gamer tag, and it was like UNT Tycoon or some lame ass shit. I'm glad it has finally evolved and stuck with the Doctor, because I think that's it right there. Yeah, there were some lames out there. It was UNT Tycoon. Then we moved over to Sky High 5'8", and then we've settled down, and it's official. It's the 512 Foot Doctor. So yeah, that I don't even do they even? I'm sure kids use them now and shit like that with all the games and stuff like that.
Oh, they do. I got a boy, man. So they're still thriving, man. The cheesy names are still thriving, man.
So much effort into trying to and they're like, yo, these hoes are weak.
Yeah. In the future, it gets like that. But telling your boys, you're like, yo, I'm going to find you, man. And ain't nobody against it at first. But yeah, looking back, it's like, oh, man, what the hell?
Oh, yeah. And you think it's good because it's like no one's got it. And then you're like, some of them you're like rejected. They were already taken. Like, fuck.
Yeah. It starts out good to where you're just like, yo, just the name. Okay, well, I had a one number.
Yeah.
Damn, now next thing you know, you got 4 numbers of the year you're born, and you're just like, damn, dog, you taking off the whole cool of my name, man. And
when you got to throw the underscore in there, it's over.
Yeah. At least if they got that, then yeah, that's the name, man. Yeah, that underscore is going to do it, man.
That's what you got to settle for. Yeah, that's not too bad. All right, let's do a few more on the life catch up. Then we're going to roll out in the next segment. But do you have any, recent changes in your life? You got any of those? Any changes, positive, negative? What's going on?
Recent changes has been trying to maybe plan out more for the what it is like doing the music stuff, man. Really writing out stuff more as far as what's the plan? Okay, here's the release. Well, let's write on that. That's what I try and do now is try and put everything on paper. And it's like, it got to be random papers, man, whether it's just random shit like this. It don't matter what type of book or something like that. But it has to be something written down to where, and it might be thrown away later. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. But it's like, we got to evolve to the next one. So that's kind of like the change to where I've made this year is mainly, I did that before where it's just cramming a lot into stuff, whether it's music. But now it's like, well, I got to slow that down to open things up more to where people can kind of understand more of it. I tend to kind of just pack everything and just kind of put it out. But now it's like mainly like, well, let's kind of write out things. And I just kind of been trying to get more organized with that, with rollouts and just release it with anything.
Oh, yeah. No, I love the writing down now, man, because it's like it's tremendous to have it written out and then you see it. When you see it, you can do it. When you write it, you put it on paper. You've already made that first step to doing it. All right. Now you can see it. Because it's one thing to just, let's store it in the brain so I can just have it mentally. Nah, fuck that. You want to write it down. You want to be able to witness it. You want to be able to view it. And then you want to draft just that, whatever you want to do, out into a plan to execute and to fucking complete. So it all starts there, man. It's like you were saying, like it's a boiling point. It's just the elemental beginning for the hijinks, whatever it's going on.
Right. That's it, man.
So you got a favorite weed strain, man? What's going on with that? Favorite?
I don't. I'm a new booty. Really, it's
into it.
What'd you say?
What got you into smoking?
Man, some actually shout out to homie. It was my homie, the Eastside Morales podcast. Vega Garcia.
All right.
He kind of he came through. He actually what did he do, man? Oh, he had us on his podcast a while back, man. Maybe about 3 years ago, but he had left some at the crib, man.
Yeah.
So that was when that one day tour was like, man, I don't have shit to do. Because before it would be like, man, I was terrible in like to where it's like I would feel, I don't know, taking on that pressure to where it's like, hey, man, you don't need to be doing that if you got something to do. That's kind of how I would think it, to where it's like you can't use it as that waste of time. Not to where other people are a waste of time, but for me, to where it's like, well, hold up, man, why? You know, you got a job, you got this, but then it came to, it's like, I ain't got shit to do. It was just like Friday, man. I ain't got nothing to do. So it was like that, man, that, and then when I did, I was like, damn, okay. So, you know, then it started becoming like a, and then the homie Lou, shout out to my homie Lou. So after then, it's kind of where it's just kind of, treating it as more of that, the leisure shit, but then also to where relaxing when I'm enjoying music, listening to music, man, and just kind of kicking back and like, I don't know. Before I would feel like I would, or at least my girl would say that shit, to where it's like stressing a lot, to where it's always just like without thinking, to where especially with doing these music, playing this shit out, or just if things don't go the way it's supposed to, then it's just like, what the fuck? Like it's just like ruins the day type of shit, to where, you know, so it was kind of that, to where it's like, well, you know, working it in the life to where, you know, it's not as stressful.
Yeah. That's cool. Let me give some recommendations on some strains, man.
Please do, man.
I highly suggest blue cheese. Blue cheese.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, that's my go-to. Blue cheese.
Okay.
Next, the gelato. Gelato is
I always hear about that one, man. You know the Migos been putting that on, man. But okay, I'm writing these down, man.
Get it. And then there's White Widow. White Widow is beautiful.
Heard of that joint. Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll close it out. I mean, I can't stress enough on gelato, but really blue cheese. And then the closer, let's see. Green crack is pretty good. You could try that green crack out. It's not that bad.
Okay.
Anything diesel slams as well. But I don't know, man. I'm a big indica guy. Like because sure they have the whole like that's the one that like. That's the downer and the sativa is the upper, but I try to throw down the indica and see how long you can go. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth, like what's going down with that. So Oh man, like we're going to speak about music and stuff in the future in just a little bit, but I've always been the cat to twist a straight one up and hit a concert of my favorite person. And you plan for me. I would plan, all right, when this track comes on, we finna spark this money over. Like that's the whole thing I was waiting for. And then you hear that track and it's boom.
It's the one.
Yeah. So that's one thing, I'm saying that I could share with the cannabis, the weed, and the concerts in general. So that's cool.
That's the one, man. Yeah, now you're right, man. That definitely is. Now I see that to where I'm like, damn, yeah, it sets it off even more. You know what I'm saying?
Boy up there doing whatever that you came to see, and then it's like,
yes, this is for me.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
All right, man. So do you have any religious or spiritual influences? And it doesn't even have to be a God. It doesn't even have to be an idol like that. Just even like on the musical level, or just influences in general. Because like I think of on the musical level, I really look up to the past, the people that are no longer here that threw down on a record. Because I'm a big music cat. I mean, if all the shit behind me and Freaks and Geeks, when we get the cameras in here, when we get the VIP all access for you, the Foot Doctors, the studio Life and Death is covered with music posters from a bunch of genres. But like, I not that I idolize the past musicians that are no longer here, but they're definitely on the spiritual level for me. You know what I'm saying? They're still up there. They're still going down. They came through the life and they pushed it on out. But what about you? Any religious, if that's the route you're going to take, or just spiritual influences that you got?
And I've always, I have always believed in God, man. I was raised a Christian, man. My mom's really into religion. She honestly, man, she still sends me Bible verses, man. So she'll send me that every morning and stuff like that. So it's things to where I don't go to church like I did before as much, but it is always something to where it's always been something I've been rooted in. Where it's having that just the positive mindset. I understand too. It's like having I know people. It is the organized religion. That can be a bad taste for some people, and then. The way things,
as I said, I didn't get down with that. Before we hit the rolling, Freaks and Geeks. I'm not a big organized religion cat, but keep on going.
Yeah, which is true, man. And I can understand how a lot of that stuff can turn people off, man. And it's just kind of, I mean, we all, it really does come down to just the simple things, man. Treat people right. We all have the common sense to do that, man. And I think it's kind of, it shouldn't fit within that, but if that's what it takes to kind of build that. And I think, for some, it can serve as a better foundation for a lot, So it's not, it doesn't, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but yeah, it's kind of always been that, try and pray every day. Yeah. And, at least within that, kind of be, positive within it, man.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm a big meditation guy, man. I picked it up within the past, I don't know, half a year, just going with it. I've always tried it in the past just to be a very self-centered cat, you know what I'm saying? But I had always found myself.
Does it work?
I like it, it's just the time to just shut all this shit down, and you're just sitting there trying to think of clarity, but you're going to get a lot of thoughts that come in, you know what I'm saying? You're still going to get a whole lot of thoughts in the brain right there. You're just trying to slow the brain down. And any thoughts that you get, you know what I'm saying, you still accept them. You still take them in. If it sucks because, like, I don't like to write down any thoughts during the whole meditation process. But so I try not to come up with any good ideas during that process as well. Because you don't, like, for me, any thought, like, it could be a car driving by and it's like, all right, just accept that and move it on. Take that in, move it on. I've kind of think of these ideas and these thoughts as like clouds. And I didn't make this shit up. This is just kind of passed on to me. We got all kinds of clouds here. We got the just general clouds in the sky that they're just chilling, moving by. You got the storm clouds. You got the snowstorm clouds here, or you got a completely clear sky, all blue. So it's all just, I think of the mind. I think of ideas as the sky. The mind is the sky, and the clouds are the ideas. You can have good ones, you can have bad ones, you can have, and you can also have ones that just come and go. So it's also important, the fact that these ideas, they come and go. When you got a juicy one, write that bad boy down, because I don't know how many times you've ever thought of an idea and just lost that motherfucker, and you know what I'm saying? You're like, fuck. What, geez. So that's my approach on the meditation thing. You know what I'm saying? The whole like a spiritual thing. I brought up the boy Bruce Lee a lot on this podcast. He's a heavy influence, you know what I'm saying? On the immigrant level, on the underdog level, on was he a movie star? Most definitely. Was he a martial artist? Most definitely. Was he out there doing MMA and fucking cats up? No. But he was a very composed cat. And I now think of him as like a philosopher and stuff like that. But man, we talked about him a lot. We've talked about him a lot on this podcast. It's not the Bruce Lee podcast, but he's definitely, he's right here in the studio, Life or Death. You know what I'm saying? He's got a huge presence. And I don't know, man, Bruce has been in my life since, at least the age of 5. Man. You know what I'm saying? Just whether it's karate, whether it's martial arts, whether it's the time when Pops brought home the 20th anniversary Into the Dragon on VHS. And was like, look, let's watch this. Oh, man. Yeah.
All the movies are good, man. I love it, man. It's definitely, that's that cultural icon, man. It's really, that's what my dad loves damn Bruce Lee, man. He loves all that Kung Fu. And that's how I got into that, where, watching them old movies, man, watching the old, I don't even know what type of movies were. The one I always remember were masks, man. They be flying and stuff like that. But the Bruce Lee movies are they're all good, man. All good.
Message, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, it is great. I love that shit, man. So Freaks and Geeks, if you haven't got down with any Bruce Lee films, go out there and get yourself a little Bruce Lee. Start off wherever you are, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you to start off with Into the Dragon. While that is like the highlight and the climax of the career, there's so much stuff that's, in the cut for Bruce, fucking out there. You got to remember, there was a portion of time where they were having to dub him because he didn't know English. Like those, like as a kid, I was like, fuck, this shit's garbage, because he's not like, it's all dubs, but no, it's good shit. It
is, man.
Let's close this one out, Astro, with the last question on the life catch-up, the Heinz 57 life catch-up. In the past, we'll call it 48 days. In the past, January, February, almost 2 months, have you picked up any new routines, practices, or beliefs? What's up on that?
That'll probably be just the same shit. We're just writing more stuff down. That's probably been the practice. Yeah. That's probably it, man, as far as in just really applying that. Before, I would do that where it's just having a notebook, just writing whatever down. But then now it's like, okay, hey, let's break it down. So now I'm having a paper that is a set theme that I can just jot down on. So it's, like I said, just spreading that out more and just refining the process of writing down these plans.
Cool. Gravy. All right, man. Well, beautiful on the live catch up, Freaks and Geeks. Now we got a little intro to Baby Aztro. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about like the current situation. I wanted to talk about the San Antonio life, but you dropped a bomb on me. Aztro. You was saying that you was living out in, I almost said Arkansas. You weren't living out in Alaska. Anchorage, and then that you were born out in Florida. So talk to us about the military life, because you also dropped that you're a military brat. You know what I'm saying? That you do a lot of moving. Tell us about that whole experience growing up, man. It's a lot. It's not you don't have like I'm not saying you, but oftentimes in the military brats, like there's not a center like for home. It's you move, you get up, you move. You know what I'm saying? You might be in the school for like 2 weeks, and they're like, yo, we got to dip, got to go to another spot, or like 4 weeks. Yeah. So talk about the Florida life and talk about the moving, and then tell us about this Alaska joint, the final frontier, the great frontier, whatever.
Yeah, man.
Go for it.
Yeah. So I was born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, Okaloosa County. Honestly, I don't know shit about that because it was real quick. I think maybe about 2 years or so. Then after we went to Germany.
All right.
I don't really remember much about that. Maybe we were there for about 4 years. Yeah. Then after Germany, we ended up going to Hawaii.
Okay.
Lived in Honolulu, Hawaii for 4 years. That's when I started going to grade school, stuff like that. And then it wasn't until 5th grade. It's when I moved to Alaska. Actually, fourth grade.
Did you spend in Hawaii?
That time I didn't. Yeah. Just because we would eat all that other stuff, man. Like, yeah, man, we would eat all the other stuff and all the Kahlua pork and all that type of stuff. Definitely, man. But now, oh yeah, spam's the way, man. Yeah, I fuck with that spam, man.
That's crazy, man. So you know what I'm saying? You dropped in Fort Worth. Fort Worth. You dropped in up in Florida. Then y'all roll out to Germany. You hit up in Hawaii, and then the final frontier, the final stop is.
Yes,
so would you say like the majority of your upbringing was in Alaska, or what?
I would say that, man. The most towards like no more of that, because I was there, man. We were there for usually it was like the 4-year spurts each time. Yeah. But that was like, you know, we did the other 4 years because I had been living like off base for a while and then eventually moved on base. So we're living out the rest of the time, man. But from that, it did, you know, that definitely was, you know, kind of the main part of me, I guess, the upbringing and stuff like that. Fun fact that when I went to Bartlett High School. Okay. For 2 years, man. And I actually went during the same time. It's always cool to look back at. I'm not a sports guy. I don't keep up with sports like that. I have favorite teams, things like, but I just don't keep up with that shit at all. But I did go to school when Mario Chalmers was there. So we went to the same school. Or I went to his school and stuff. But yeah, man. So that was kind of like, you know, I went there for 2 years and stuff. But it's like a lot of where, you know, getting in the hang of music through my homie. Well, he goes by 1-2 now, or he went by Doc Rick, but his name is Ricardo, okay, or Cartier now. But he's actually, him and his brother Mayo, they actually got me into music, and from there, that was like maybe within a year of kind of, that was before I left, but I got into it for the year of before I left, and then it was after on that last year. We actually, so we drove from Seattle. Okay. Took a little ship and stuff like that to go to Washington. Yeah. And then from Washington drove down to San Antonio. So it was that whole time to where it was during that whole process of like actually as getting ready to leave and get ready to move and stuff. That's when I really did like crack down on just with music. So it was like during that time towards really being that, let me lock in, study the music, man. And it kind of so happened to land around the time when like anniversary CDs were coming out. This is when I would still go get those CDs often from the BX if they were new, but that's when that Ready to Die remastered joint came out and the 10th anniversary of Illmatic. So that was things where it's like, you know what? Of course, these are the classics. So it was studying those to really just get in that mindset, man, of, you know, the music and studying that craft behind that. That was already, of course, being into, I was a huge fan of Eminem, man, a real good fan, but from the thing of, you know, the wordsmith back then, man, it was just such a crazy, like.
Do you remember Infinite?
Man, I did. I downloaded that joint when, you know, of course, through Kazaa, but man, yeah, Infinite is such.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think it's a Slim Shady LP. Nah, Infinite.
Yeah. Infinite is definitely damn. Man. Yeah, he's always had those little. Oh yeah, man. He was definitely a cat to where it's like, okay, that would probably be the thing to where it's like, I won't say based in the sound, but just that's where it's okay, the technicalness of words. Yeah. So that's what led to, you know, of course.
These too, because he was like, I'm not gonna get picked up. And he was, oh my man, it was some good shit. One thing I miss about him that he doesn't do no more is the last track to every album. A lot of people say he would always do that shit. A lot of people ask me this, that, and the third. So if you go back and you listen to every Eminem album, the last track, it's always generally going to start off with a lot of people ask me or a lot of people say, and then he'll go in and kill that hoe. He stopped it. He didn't do it in the last, like, I want to say like the recent 2 or 3, but man, that's how he used to close it out. And that was a killer, boy.
He banned the way the stuff used to flow, man. It was just crazy. You got everything from it to where you'd have the nice little skit. And all funny skits, man. I love the Steve Berman skits and the damn the Ken Kniff from Connecticut skits, man. Like it's just like, yo, when you had all those different facets of an album, and it was just good, man. It's just it really picked off like in a new age. Like people may look at it as maybe childish then, maybe just because it's what it's talking about, but like that's in today's time where they don't understand that. It's funny that they understood that when our Future can say these things, but with him, it's kind of a different, it's a shocker, you know? So it's kind of, and, you know, on a different note, it just becomes that thing of the choosing where man, this is hip hop, man. You're gonna hear some stuff you ain't gonna like. You're gonna hear some stuff that's gonna make it like, oh, but it's also how good is it? You know what I'm saying? If it's still a good line, like I gotta bring this up, man. I know everybody was bugging about it today, but it was that Meek Mill line.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that with the Kobe? He said,
no. It's
a new song. A new song he had. I forgot what the I don't know if it's Lil Baby or I don't know the other guy, man. But he just said, if I'm blacking with my chopper, then I'm going out like Kobe or something like that. And I was just like, damn, but everybody was, upset. People think it's distasteful, but under a thing like, nah, I like that line, man. That's a very witty line to where, and we can't have it to where everybody milking his legacy. But now this is something to where y'all want to stop to where, but it's just things like that to where,
too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah. We can't limit it on that, especially when you can get so much more out of it. Now, it's not to say we don't know right from wrong, which they should, but it doesn't need to be, well, hey, there's that. Well, yeah, we know it's not wrong, but we know it's a good way of, in a poetic form, the way it's put. So it's just kind of like now it's like removing the art from it. Are you going to want to cover up nudity art? Not saying nudity in words is the same, but it's, it's not taking it too far with that. But yeah, man.
I got you. You ever seen him? I got a couple of buddies that
I haven't, man.
Never seen him,
Now he's just to the point to where I think when I really started hitting up shows, that's when he was to the point, he ain't doing nothing small at all, man. Yeah. It's ACL is probably the smallest he'd do, man,
Yeah. I think that was the year that I seen Outkast, the fucking ATLians. He was there, but on like the next day or something like that. So
yeah, that's right. That was I'm not gonna lie, that was a crazy ass damn little lineup they had. It was Outkast and what was the other third person? Was it Gorillas or some shit or?
I might have been. That sounds kind of familiar.
I know it was a crazy ass. Where it's like, damn.
I don't know.
That might be a lie. Don't quote me on that.
No, there was somebody big on that joint, but I don't remember.
It was Pearl Jam.
Okay.
Pearl Jam and Skrillex. But yeah, I mean, shit, nonetheless, that was that shit was booming, man. People were, they had to squeeze a little, it was kind of hard for people to decide. So a lot of people I remember were just, I'm getting all three. Yeah. All 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to like talk about the ACL vibe. It's just I think you alluded to it as well. It's a huge not a production, but it's just huge, audiences and not a lot of opportunity to be right up there, right up front, getting down. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't dig on it. But yeah, that's what's up, man. All right. So we talked about the, San Antonio life a little bit. We talked about, the upbringing, the traveling around, making it all the way from Alaska all the way to San Antonio. So did Pops bring you down? Is it your father who's in the military?
Yeah, it's my Pops in the military.
What branch is he in?
Air Force.
I got you.
He was, and he retired here actually. So that's why we've been here, man. And
cool. Did you graduate in Alaska?
Nah, I actually moved. I moved after my sophomore year. So I came down here my junior and senior year, and I went to TAB. Class 06.
Cool. All right. Well, so that brought you here. Now with music and everything like that, do you have a favorite record store in San Antonio?
Yeah, Friends of Sound, man. That's my spot, man. I started going out to Hog Wild at first when I started getting my feet wet and stuff like that, but definitely like Friends of Sound, man. That's that's the place. At first it was overwhelming, man. That was before I got really into kind of digging and not really knowing. But Friends of Sound is the spot, man. They were shout out to them, man. That's where I actually hosted my last release party. For now it's getting gloomy after sundown. To where we got to host a party there, and it was actually like probably one of the most memorable experiences of a release. To where it was like, it was right before, of course, the Rona popped off, man. But it was also real important to where this was the first little EP that I actually just produced myself, and just did everything, man. So that was kind of the good part of it, and then for them to. Friends of Sound to actually be, open and just allowing me to host that there, man. And we actually had it was like a little party, man, to where we had different DJs. So we had Rambo, he did a set. We had the homie George, he did a set. My homie Andrew, he did a set, and then of course Mikey did a set as well, man. Mikey Strange. So it was just a good thing, man. Then I of course performed it on the multi-track. So that was kind of a new aspect of just kind of getting my feet wet with that, and then just having some like I said, it was just kind of overseeing everything. But yeah, Friends of Sound definitely is like from there. It's been just that's the main spot, man. Go to for sure.
That's it. Have you ever been to the Aztec Theater in San Antonio? You know what's
I have.
That's what's
I've
never
been. It's definitely
photos. I've never been. But the stage looks immaculate, man. I love that whole detail they threw onto that joint. What did you do? What did you see there?
So I've seen, actually, like shit, I saw last year. That was the last show I saw. Actually, was at the Aztec. It hadn't been many shows at the Aztec, man. Those would be, because just recently it was like acquired by House of Blues, so they started getting more of the those acts kind of coming through. But the last show that I saw there was Kamasi Washington.
All right.
And he's a jazz musician. It's actually his birthday today, man.
Oh,
surprisingly, yeah, it's his 40th birthday. It's crazy how all that shit aligns and stuff. But yeah, man, that was the last show we actually got to, me and my girl got to see before everything. Like, this is during the things where, like, we're of course not wearing masks and stuff at that time, but it was kind of just where people didn't want to touch you at that point. It was during that time,
That's weird, man. Like, I felt like I didn't go through that period. I just went from like a period of masks to the next day was no mask. That's strange. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Like, there was nothing even like precautious or anything. It was just like fucking March 12th, we're chilling, we're live, and then March 13th, shut it the fuck down, put a mask over your face, get inside the house, and get down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's crazy. All right, but enough of that. I don't like the
Nah. Yeah. I feel that. Don't nobody want to talk about that anymore, man.
But the Aztec, that's what's up. Yeah, go for it. Freaks and Geeks, we're gonna move on. We're gonna continue our little discussion over just San Antonio-based items, San Antonio-based information, just recollections with Baby Aztro here. My next question is, do you have a favorite music venue in San Antonio? Favorite
music venue is it's gonna be pretty predictable, but it was the White Rabbit in Paper Tiger. I've seen
somebody popped that up and I was like, Paper Tiger. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that. Oh, White Rabbit. Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, man. They dressed it up, man. It's nice. They got it real nice now, man. I wasn't going to White Rabbit when it was like for the rock shows and stuff like that. So I know that holds that history of that. So I'm sure that aesthetic and everything was cool, and it wasn't a problem with that, but it's just kind of like, I'm sure that's very personal to a lot of people, but it feels like
there's a lot of metalheads, a lot of rockers went out.
Yeah. Yep. So it's definitely that, man. So it's not to take from that, but because I've seen fucking great shows when it was the White Rabbit. That's where I saw shit. I've seen Kendrick twice there. I've seen people like that, man. But yeah, I like it overall, just to where it's more than just the people, the artists I've seen perform, but on top of that, of course, the experience, man, where you're hanging out, you're going to see somebody there. Now it's like, if I'm saying I'm going to see somebody I know, or at least I'm going to have a good time regardless, because, I went with the homies. So it would be just like a little familiar spot. So that'd probably be the favorite.
That's cool. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Now, the White Rabbit is really the only spot, that and the Aztec and the Majestic, but I can't speak upon these locations based off of experience, but just stories from just chatting it up and music aficionados, music appreciators like yourself, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. But San Antonio, so this is like the one of the most recent stops for you, you know what I'm saying? The stopping points. What do you like about San Antonio? What's up with that? What do you enjoy about the city?
I like that I like the pace of it, man. It's a cool pace to where I don't feel like it's you can just come here and just be between that, and then also to where you're in between all the major city or close near the major cities, man. So it's kind of like, well, if something's not going down here, maybe a show or something like that, then it's Dallas, then it's Houston, Austin, so it's always like, I like that, man. So that's the main plus of it.
That's what's up. Yeah, no, it's you can definitely get to a lot of locations from it. So it's a nice little hub. I've never lived there, so I can only speak on living from the center of the state. So that's a different approach, but
Yeah.
that's what's up. That's what's up. You got any go-to grub spots, whether it's a restaurant, maybe a bar? What's up with that? You got any go-to spots where you're like, what's up? This is the San Antonio spot. I love this spot. Throw it out there.
Grub spot, man. Like probably the ones where it's like the most faithful to where it's like every time I go there,
Yeah.
it's always been a hit. But it would be
Waiter, same person throwing it down.
yeah. It'd be I would like or from it was a nighttime spot to where it got in the habit, but it was Los Robertos.
Okay.
It was that, but now it's the new name now is Los Bolitos. But now they got a few more spots and stuff like that. But man, it's always after a long night, that's where I'm going after. So a lot of times, end up with the homies there, things like that. But yeah, that's the main spot, Los Bolitos, man.
There's a couple of spots out there. I think there's one. There's a burger joint. What the fuck is it called?
Chris Madrid's?
Yeah, that joint's a slammer.
Man, I haven't eaten there. My girl keeps telling me about that. I heard it's bomb, man.
You got to hit on that. I love the burgers there are killer. The fries are fucking bazing. Everything is out of sight on that. They even got a pizza spot. I think, is it Big Al's? I don't know if they're tied in with Big Al's.
Big Lou's. Is it Big Lou's?
Yeah, Big Lou's.
I haven't eaten there, man. I love pizza, but I always ask people, and that's why I haven't gone. I ask people, is that pizza good?
It's a novelty.
And just like,
it's not.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they got the big pie. But Chris Madrid's ain't novelty. That
okay.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's where, I think, see, you're the first person to ever say it's just not, that's all I need to hear, man. And then I'll go check it out. But it's like, people are like, oh, well, you just got to go. And I was like, man, I'm not trying to go somewhere just to order a big ass pizza just to say I did, man. It got to be good, man. Or, but it's.
Yeah, definitely more on the Chris Madrid's and the big Lou's. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Christmas.
Gotcha.
Them. What do you think about the whole like fiesta season there? You know what I'm saying? I can't speak on any part of that. What do you think about that? That's a big just
big staple, man. They love it, man.
They love it. They all out, yo.
Yeah, it is something to where and that's kind of why I don't knock it. Just because it's not my style, but honestly, I respect it to where I've been to Oyster Bake here and there. I've gone to and like what was that shit called? Nyosa, things like that. But it's never been my experience. It probably was the people who just, definitely grew up here, man, to where they appreciate it. I love the culture of it. It's definitely cool because it's like the city has something of its own that's, centered around culture and centered around that aspect. So it's like for any city to have, it's like our Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
So it's like cool that it's their own culture, full everything, man. But yeah, man, it's just the thing. I'm sure with people, you have to just grow up here to be like, you just appreciate the fact. But me personally, I just can't, justify going out downtown all the way out there and spending all that money just to pay for drinks and just to. I guess that's when I realized, like, oh shit, is this it? Like, not in a negative way, but like, damn, man, like you could have just went to the club, man, or something like that. But I get it's the spirit, man.
Definitely. No, San Antonio's got the Fiesta. Dallas has a state fair. Like you said, New Orleans got Mardi Gras and stuff like that. Austin has South by and ACL and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just a vibe. It's a tradition for wherever you're at. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. A tradition. Yeah, man.
Freaks and Geeks. Let me talk to you real quick about the sponsor of the podcast, Green Belt Botanicals. Green Belt Botanicals is the most trustworthy and reputable CBD dispensary and retailer in the Austin area. And if you're not in the Austin area, make sure you hit them up at greenbeltbotanicals.com. Whether you're looking for CBD, whether you're looking for Delta 8 THC, whether you're looking for CBG, the items out there that Green Belt Botanicals has are endless. They also have CBD dog treats for your four-legged friends. What I really get down on is the CBD topicals. They've got some muscle creams out there that really work the aches and the pains in the muscles there, and they also have a spot cooling gel. Oh, I really get down on that. Say you're working out, say you're getting a little exercise in, or say I don't know, something went down, you got a little soreness in the body, throw that little CBD cream on there, and the next day, boom, you're right back in action, guy. You're marauding into the next level. So hit them up at greenbeltbotanicals.com and use that promo code FootDoctor15. That's all caps. Foot Doctor 15, FOOTDR 15 to get yourself 15% off at checkout at greenbeltbotanicals.com. Remember, support the sponsor because the sponsor supports the podcast. Now let's get back to the show. All right, Baby Aztro, let's move on into the boom bat, the music. What's going down with this? So,
yes, sir.
I think, my man, you're the third music cat we've had on here. We had a homie from Fort Worth who does like a Latin type of, Latin influence, little rapping. He started off as a mariachi as well. So we've had another buddy from the Oak Cliff area, but throwing down here, he's a bass player in a band, and now we got you, man. So let's talk about this. You've been in Texas for a little bit. Let's start off with these Texas rappers. Who are some of your favorite Texas rappers?
Favorite Texas rappers is Scarface, of course. Okay. You know, Scarface, UGK.
Definitely.
Chameleonaire. Chameleonaire is definitely like, to me, it's probably like my favorite out of Texas. Just that's that complex wordplay, man. The wordplay and then the punchlines. It's just that thing of not to knock Texas, but not hearing much of that. So when I moved here, and then it's like, okay, actually, you know, I was a fan of Lil Flip too. Yeah, I really like Lil Flip. Huge fan of Lil Flip. And then locally, Livola, man. Livola definitely is just the consistent. That was the one, of course, when I first moved here. That's the one, you know, folks. This is a guy. You know what I'm saying? It's still, and it's crazy to hear from the time of first hearing about him then to where like shit right now to where it's like, man, he's still coming with those consistent lines, man, and it's just real good, man. So yeah, those probably be the favorite like Texas rappers for sure.
What about outside of state, outside of Texas, all across the wherever? You know what I'm saying? What you got on there?
Favorite rapper? I mean, it's almost, it sounds like the same script, man, but it is, like I said, things to where I studied just to understand the whole aspect of it. It's Jay-Z, Nas, Big L for sure. That was huge.
Oh yeah. That's why I could feel a huge East Coast vibe on your tracks. I was not getting the Third Coast. I was not getting Dirty South. I was not getting, you know, the Screwed Up Click. I was getting out there on the East Coast. Yeah. Out to Brooklyn. It threw me out to Coney Island. I was in Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? That's why I fucked with it, because, you know, the Texas made, Texas paid, Texas representing artists. You know, that's I feel it because it's like, oh, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
But while it's cool, I really fuck with the East Coast heads.
Yeah, it's cool. You need a break from it every now and then. I can't, you know, it definitely can be monotonous at times. Yeah. Much like I'm sure, you know, certain hip hop can at times too. But yeah, I'm the same between that, and especially with Eminem. That whole, actually, a lot of cats from the Detroit. That was actually something I really was really into at that time, man. Just that whole sound, because it is that complexities of the words to where, you know, it's really rhyming these words, not just, you know, rat, fat, cat type shit. You know what I'm saying? But really getting a little bit technical on that, man.
I'll have to send you this cipher that a buddy of mine sent me. It's got like 50 cats on it. I don't know if it's 50 cats in States, but there's a lot of cats on it, buns on it, and fucking Royce the 5'9" closes the joint out. So,
oh shit,
it's pretty sick. Sick.
That sounds crazy, man.
All right, so what's the story behind the name, Baby Aztro? I seen you utilize the character from the Jetsons a lot, but what's the story behind that name? And like your spelling is off the fucking wall. That's another enigma. There was only like one that I struggled with, and then I got right into it. But like, I don't know, you really got to dive into it and analyze that. But back to your name, Baby Aztro, where does that come from?
So the Astro, man, actually, this is really before I guess I got into, I wouldn't say I really got into it. There was some guy I knew at school. This was when I was in Alaska. He was into graffiti, doing that shit. And, you know, it was kind of just, I found myself just writing Astro. I didn't have much things I was really trying to take it serious on that thing, but it was, I need a fucking name. And that's kind of where it came from. That's where Astro, and it's a star, of course, the obvious thing. And, but it seemed like that was kind of just plain. And actually the baby part, it was always, I would attach it to the pain and the labor associated with the music. but I actually really like, it was a guy that I actually went to school with. His name was, he went by Baby Slide. But now he goes by Fresh Jam. He's actually in Atlanta. Shout out Fresh Jam. But that's actually, man, when he had that, and I was just like, damn, just for something, I don't know. It just stuck out to me to where it's like, all right, I'll put it both together. And that's kind of where the name came from.
Yeah. Cool. Now, have you dropped the baby, or do you still fuck with the baby? What's up with that?
See, man, it's the thing to where I'll have it to where people can call me Astro. It seems like sometimes maybe I've thought to where it's like, I want to change it to where I still see people. They have Astro, it's their name, things like that. I've had it for a long time, but it's just kind of, hey, it sticks, man. So I'll leave it as is. And I kind of let the baby can be there to where, people can call me Astro. If I drop it, then I feel like it would be empty without it. And then it's kind of weird to where it's like I would always, when I was always Baby Aztro, it's like, why do you have baby in your name? Why do you have baby in your name? And now we got Lil Baby, we got the baby, and all this shit, man. And now it's like it's cool, that baby is cool, but like my baby was, now it's kind of like, oh, well, why they call you that shit? You're not a baby, you're a grown man. So it's just, but it has that kind of, it really is the pain and that labor surrounding the music, man, just because of that.
Cool. So I've tried to figure out how long have you been getting down in the craft of music? The earliest thing that I can find on you is one of your OG freebase samples from 2011. But where does it start? Where does it? What's before that? Where does the start for you, Baby Aztro, and your music making just the venture journey?
Man, it started in my homie's basement, man. That's actually what it was in a track on a freebase track where I started crafting rhymes in the basement. And it's just like, it was in Alaska with some homies who actually got into it with, it was Cartier, that's what he goes by now. And then the homie Mayo, brothers and stuff, and their cousin actually rapped, and he's actually from Detroit, man. So that's kind of what made more of that to where their cousin, his name is Cision, Cysion, but he's got a few tracks with Guilty Simpson, and just like at that time, it always like, it just stuck out to me, the word complexness and stuff like that. But yeah, it was from there to where, okay, doing one song in their basement, but then once I moved here, then it was like, well, hey, I'm gonna get my own stuff so I can make my own shit, to where this was, going to high school, to where I had a few, 3 homies that I actually rapped with, Calico, that's who he went by, and then my homie Ballistic. And then I actually had a homie, he came through like senior year, who was a singer. But at first it was, I called it Demonstration. That was the first little joint, and that was 2004, 2005. It was just rough shit, man. But it's like from that to where the next thing was called, I called it a Trap Team mixtape. And that was with the homies that I mentioned, Ballistic, Calico, and C's. So that was one. And then from there, like just started doing my own tapes from there, to where a lot of the shit is actually on Dat Piff. That was the shit to where it's uploading your shit there. Yeah. But I got it mixtapes to where there's about maybe 7 of those. It was just making mixtapes like that, where a lot of it would be on Bandcamp or Dat Piff, man.
Cool. So do you play any instruments?
I played the saxophone. I started that in 6th grade, and then stopped that around like junior year.
Okay.
And then
that's almost 6. I mean, that's almost 6 years right there. That's a lot. So you can read music then, right?
So at the beginning of it, I was stubborn with it. I would kind of write the notes, write down that shit at the bottom. But then eventually, maybe around once I got into high school, started kind of
flowing a little bit.
Doing that. But then it just wasn't kind of like, it felt like such a I don't know. I didn't like it. It felt like it was more. It didn't seem approachable, man. It felt like forced on me, not something to where it's like. So it was like once I moved here and like we heard about the marching and stuff, and my family, all my family's from New Orleans, so they're big on the marching bands and stuff like that. But when we moved here, the marching bands here are a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. It's more of the Fort Sam is probably the big thing with everybody. Like that's the cool shit, not more of the like proper thing. That's kind of what it was, and that's probably what kind of turned me off to it. But surprisingly, I've been trying to getting into it again since I've been doing more of the instrumental stuff. Since like I wouldn't say I can play the instrument, but it's kind of messing around on it with synthesizers and stuff like that.
Yeah, saxophone's a killer fucking instrument, man. I love it.
Love it, man.
I never got to play it. I tried after that joint, but they didn't throw me that joint. They throw me the Woodward Tentacles joint. You know what I'm saying?
The clarinet.
Shout out to Benny Goodman doing all that type of stuff. But no, the sax is a beautiful instrument. I love just these sax solos that you can hear on like a fucking Pink Floyd track or a Rolling Stones track, and it's just killer. It's out of sight. I love a saxophone, man. They're just Oh, those solos out there are tremendous. That's cool. That's
the tone, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about this record collection, my man. Like, how did this record collection start for you? You've talked about this San Antonio record store but how did collecting vinyl start for you? Because I've collected CDs. For me, it really started with CDs. I wasn't really a cassette guy. I had a couple of cassettes, but the purchasing of music started for me in CDs. And I don't really like to buy digital shit. So I'll buy a CD and I'll buy a vinyl and then, just move on from there. But how did the record collection start for you?
Man, I had always tried steering away from the records, just to where it's like I didn't produce like that to sample. And it was just I'm not trying to get into that whole wave. And if I get them, then I'll feel like I got to sample. So I didn't, that was my stance for a long time. And it wasn't until maybe around maybe 2011 or 2010 to where a homie, it was actually Jay Danklef's customizer. But shout out to him, man. He actually put me onto the records, man. So where he's just, hey, man, like some of these records are cheap or some of this, and you just get a whole experience from that. Yeah. And kind of once he said that, he took me digging a few places, man. And that's when I was like, damn, okay, this is kind of cool. And then from there, it's been, it's a nice filler instead of like now just trying to get a CD is like, but now I realize to where it's like, yeah, you're discovering so much more by just kind of off the whim. And it's opened up my mind to like so much more, man, just with getting different records and from different places. And like now it's like each thing has an attachment to it, to whether it's the experience and stuff like that. But it's like no matter what, you're going to get something out of a record, whether it's that experience. And this is before we even listen to it, man. But it's like you're going to get something out of it. So sampling, ideas, good art on the cover, man. So that's really just became the thing now to where it's like, okay, well, shit, if I'm going somewhere else, I want to get records like out of state. Man, I got to go, pick up a few records and stuff. But I try and not let it it can get out of hands where it's like, I want to make sure I'm listening to it, man, and not just getting all this shit just to say I got it. But I try and go through what I got before. Okay, let me shelve them, catalog it, and then I'll, pick up something else, man.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Man, I'll share with you some records in a little bit of my little collection.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
We stumbled upon you started showing some blues albums that you picked up. I think it started for me. You dropped like an Albert King album that you picked up, and I was like, oh shit, let me stop. What's going down? Because Albert King's a bad motherfucker. What drew you to the King, Albert King? I mean, he's one of the three kings, being Freddie King, Albert King, and BB King. But
yeah.
That oh my goodness, he's a bad man right there. What threw you on that, Albert King?
I think the first one I got of him, I try and if the covers look, man, like depending on what they're wearing, man, if they're smoking, if they're smoking something on the damn record, man, I gotta get it, man. See, there it is. Yeah.
Killer, bro.
Yeah.
He was I'll tell you real quick. He played when he played guitar, his strings were inverted. So traditionally, guitarists will play their guitars the thickest string on top, closest to their face, and the thickest string on the bottom, closest to the ground. His shit was inverted, yo. And there's a fraction of cats out there that do that, but it's very odd. And he was one of the cats that did it and to kill it. So
wow, no shit, man.
Yeah, very different, man. Like, I don't know if you've ever picked up a guitar or anything like that, but
I wish.
I have a couple of guitars in the collection, and to try and do that it doesn't make a lot of sense. But he he was running a whole band, you know what I'm saying? Doing that whole thing like that, just tremendous. You got to check out him and Stevie Ray Vaughan on their mix. Just I forget, it's called Blues at Sunrise, but I don't know if that's specifically what it's called, but they do a track called Blues at Sunrise, and it's out of sight, man. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Albert King just straight fucking killing it.
I'm adding that to the list, man. I'm gonna check that out for sure. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Albert King, yes sir.
Oh yeah. Do you have let me share a couple more with you. Check this beast out, man.
Yes, sir.
This is called Stone Crazy by Buddy Guy, and this is, my goodness. And like, you got to check this one out. This was the one track on here. It's called I Smell a Rat, and it's the opening track, and he's leading the band, and it's just about him and his old lady is saying like, I got to keep the door open because of this, that, and the other. He's from Chicago. He's from New Orleans, but he lives in Chicago. Made his way up to Chicago, and just talking about like the ladies giving this excuse, that excuse, and it's like, I smell a rat. There's some motherfucker coming here. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, yeah, you got to check this one out. This was
Stone Crazy, Buddy Guy. I'm adding that to the list too, man.
Most definitely. I'll share one more with you, not now, because we're going to talk about cartoons, because you utilize a lot of animation and cartoons in your shit, and I'll share with one for you in just a little bit. But let's see, what's up with this? Tell us about your creation process for a track from start to finish. One track that I was listening to today that was mighty fucking fine off the Streets Are Ugly, the Spill Fifths.
Yeah.
That piano track is out of sight on that one, man. It's very fucking choppy.
Bing Thor killed it, man. Yeah, he's a man, and it was all sampled from Jewish tracks, man. So he the whole album.
I can hear that now. I can hear got a different shuffle, a different cadence, a cadence that is not like familiarized to the like American culture or whatever the fuck, you know.
Right.
This is a different music style. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
That's what's up. So tell us about just the process. It doesn't have to be with that track, just in general. Yeah. When you set up a track from start to finish, how do you do it? Is it on paper? A lot of cats aren't doing paper. We've talked about paper a lot. Something a lot of people like to say is like, I don't write none of my shit down. And I'm like, man, you're bullshitting me. You got to, I don't believe shit. But I don't know, somebody, but what about you?
So, definitely write everything down, man. I've tried it with the phone stuff, man. That's only been if like I'm going to do a song with somebody and they don't have paper, but it's just like, and it's not to be elitist about it, but it gives me that creativity of, let's say somebody's like a designer. They're designing a logo. Are they only using just one spot, or are they only just doing a digital thing and not having any type of like, so within the paper, it's okay, I can jot down my ideas up top. Oh, don't want to lose something. Let me write down a word that may rhyme. All of that top part is like, that's the, let's get it out, along with, hey, if I write something down, and it just leaves a lot of freedom within that. But usually like the creation process is kind of, I'll write down if it's a good line, I'll write that shit down anytime. You got to write that shit down. And then maybe if it's just, I say the most of it flows. I would get a lot of stuff done listening to something if I'm either at work.
Okay.
While at work, kind of listen to some shit through the headphones, jot a few things down, and kind of be able to put it together maybe on the commute home. A lot of times it would be through writing down a few things like on the commute home. If I was taking a bus at one point, I was doing that to where it's, kind of writing down a few things like that, then to put it all together. Yeah. Record it. And mix it that way, man.
Those commutes are killer. I remember taking like trips. I used to do a lot in the college realm, in the college days. I studied music in college, but I studied for guitar. But I like to write a little rhyme, write a little hook from now and then, especially at those times. Don't do more. I'm more on the axe, more on the guitar. But I remember driving from college back to home, or from home back to college, and just trying to fucking write a little hook or write a thing there. So that travel time, the commutation time that you talk about, is definitely a time for ideas and a time to
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what's up. A few more on this one, then we're going to roll out to just the your music formats, because they're having a different artistic style to it. But outside of rap, what musicians do you like? Like what genres too? What's out there for you? Like, I mean,
so there's genres, things like that. The funk, I like funk, and I really like boogie stuff, man. You really like that's probably like now set musicians. A musician who I really like is Dame Funk.
Okay.
I'm a huge Dame Funk fan. He makes a lot of the modern boogie, man, and just on point. And that's kind of what made me like fully like take the plunge and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna really crack down on with doing the instrumental stuff.
Yeah.
To where I love the boogie stuff. I would love just little grooves at the end, man. Of course, little the Funky Ride song by Outkast. Just that whole 8-minute track. So it's just I like long jam session tracks, things like that. So a lot of the Dame Funk, man, I like his stuff, man. Some of the stuff I feel bad. I can't think of much like outside of the musicians now, but mainly him, man, when I'm like just kicking back.
You get
much that.
Herbie Hancock? You fuck with him?
I don't have many of his records, but damn, man, I got maybe one tape and another record by his. I think his Feet Don't Fail Me, that joint. And then, of course, the a shock joint.
Okay.
What is it's got the joint. It's got dun, 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 dun. That's the tape joint I have. I have that one. But yeah, that's a banger, man.
On him, Chameleon. He's a bad man. Chameleon is a one. I don't know if it's an album or a track, but Chameleon. Man, I hope this power don't go out. It shouldn't go out. Fucking whoever Texas, y'all better hold this shit down. We gotta get. But I seen Herbie live, yo. It was a lottery set, and what a lottery set is you know what I'm saying? X amount of people hit X amount of cats. They sign up for tickets, and they pull it from a lottery. Just the digital whatever goes and pulls this name. And I seen Herbie Hancock. It was on the floor. There's a poster behind the lighting.
I see that, man.
I'll send you a photo of that bitch, but that was my goodness. It's because I learned about Herbie Hancock from one of my college professors, just jazz professor. And as soon as I seen, like, there was a precursor before this whole thing came up in life. I was like, if Herbie ever fucking comes up, him and Tom Waits, if those two motherfuckers ever pop off and I have the opportunity to see them in town, sign the fuck up. And I signed up for this one. I threw like 2 emails. The old lady threw an email. We got in and like fucking, I hit up work. I was like, yo, I got to go super early because I got to make my ass all the way across town. We got in there. We got GA, got the concert ticket, and it was a killer, yo.
Was that at was it ACL Live? Was it one of those?
Live, you know what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Yeah,
man, I went to one show of there, man. That is man.
So that's that one. In ACL Live, have you ever seen the ones that come on PBS that have?
I've never watched those, but
So that's the one it was. It was a recorded event that has the downtown Austin skyline in the back, and it was an ACL taping session. So we saw that. Damn, killer.
Man, I saw Kendrick. I saw Kendrick Lamar for the ACL, man. It was cool because it was at that time when he was doing the To Pimp a Butterfly album. So we actually did that full little thing, and it was great because I wanted to see that. It was one of my favorite albums at that time. It's such a good album, man. It's one of actually a top album. But yeah, that you gotta buy the poster, man, when you're there. Fucking right.
I used to be a shirt guy, and I was like, man, these shirts are fucking like I'll still get them. But the poster is just out of fucking sight.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's all I try and get, man.
Yeah. I love a shirt, but the poster is you can get the shirt online if you want it later on. That poster is more than likely gonna sell out.
Yeah. I'm the type I wear the shirts, man, and then it's like shit after a couple wears, man, it turns into that inside shirt, just kind of lounging around, man. But it's like those posters, man, you get to see them all the time, man. Like, yeah, it's just a better feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last one for this little this music aspect, because we got a more music aspect to talk about. It's all night. But tell us about the tools that you need to be successful as an artist and a music producer. That's another little venture that you've steered down with. Because I don't know, when it comes to dropping podcasts, I need a solid mic. I need my computer. I don't need no Dell either. Shit. I need that Steve Jobs joint. You know what I'm saying, for creativity. I need an interface. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when it comes to making the intros for all these podcasts, I I make them all. I'm not saying like I make the music. Oftentimes it's just a track that I cover. But
Right.
what do you need to be successful in your music venture?
Some of the things is shit. So first thing is patience, man.
Yeah.
It's patience. It's definitely having that type of that persistence, like having that type of thing. And then it's like, okay, now get into, like you said, getting the tools for that. Yeah, you can go to the studio and stuff like that, but why not it's like, to me, I've always felt, get what you fucking need, like to where you can do this shit without somebody first, or at least to get that running start. And that's kind of where.
Learn how to do it for yourself.
Yeah, man, to see if that's even something you want to do. And why not have something where you can control more aspects of it? That's the whole reason I got into.
Understand more. Yeah.
So it's really that, man. So once I did the same shit with learning to produce, because it's like, well, I don't want to rely on somebody else to where, yo, can you make this, or maybe I want it like that. So it's mainly about just getting the right tools to where you're gonna be, getting the tools to record, to put your stuff down. I'd say that's the most important, whatever you need to at least get that down in the most viable way. And then to where it just makes sense. And then I think the rest kind of like falls into place, man. If you get those tools and then that persistence and everything like that, it should fall in place if it's exactly what you want. If you know what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I hear you on that. That's good shit. Good shit. All right.
Sure.
So let's move on to your music formats. Now, before I talk about like what you've dropped, the music formats that you've dropped, I want to ask you about your favorites that others have dropped. So what's your favorite way to listen to music?
Man, so it's not going to be wax, because there is those times where I just want to sit my ass down and not really worried about it.
Yeah.
Just to where something, and then now, man, they be trying to squeeze 2 records and put shit all, spreading it apart, man. But I see the most, maybe just because it started out that way, but just with CDs, man.
Yeah.
Because mainly it's the sound. The sound of the CD, man, it's exactly how it's going to be. You don't have to do maybe extra tweaks, or sometimes it's like listen to a record, the skip, or if it's just won't be a good copy of or how it's pressed, it won't be the top. Yeah, it's gonna sound good and stuff like that, but a CD is like, this is exactly how I want you to hear it, and it sounds just crisp every time. So I guess I get used to that, from the bass and everything, and it just a full force of everything from the complete standard of it, man. So I guess I kind of got used to that. But yeah, it would probably be CDs, man.
Oh, that's cool. Now for me, a CD, like, the best way, and this is for a lot of people, CD, the best way to jam that motherfucker is in the car. Is that you feel the same, or different? You feel the same on that?
I love jamming it. That's probably where
the car is the best audio. Everybody says that. And
it is.
I say that, Freaks and Geeks, it's not like I'm telling you. I've heard other cats say, yo, the car is the best audio. Test that motherfucker in the car in the jump.
It is.
But that's I don't think that's why, but just for the mobility of the track, the mobility of the music, you can throw it in the deck, you can fucking just off east, north, south, or west, wherever you're fucking going, and just jam that hoe.
Yeah, and it goes in hand with the commute.
Yes.
I think that's what makes it to where it's like, I mean, it does sound phenomenal in a car. You can have maybe a halfway damn decent whip, but if you even have the damn portable CD to Walkman and have the tape, like, it's still going to sound good, man. It's just, I don't know, it's just that sound, man. But yeah, man.
Cool. So you have a very like retro aesthetic to your idea for like the tracking of your projects, you like your albums and the format, like the artwork. But where do you draw your influence from for producing a record or a CD or a tape or the album artwork? I know this is a large question, but you're a cat that doesn't just produce. Like, you made this Valentine's Day joint. Like, that put effort. You threw effort into that motherfucker. You've made like a lot of cassettes. You've made a lot of CDs. You made a lot of records. Like, it takes effort. You enjoy those elements of music and even music production. But like, where does the influence behind all that stuff come from? Because I gotta say, it's not wacky. It's all off the wall, and it's all like eye capturing type stuff. Where does that influence come from?
I think a good portion is putting together, just like you said, everything. When it comes to, everybody likes just whatever looks I like stuff clean. If it looks clean, if it looks animated, colors are a big thing to where, I really like colors, paying attention to that. But it's taken from, if it's a dope concept, it start with the concept, but then it's looking at, well, how does the record or the back of the record looks? Or maybe, man, I saw that I liked. Or if it's a tape, or if it's this, I really try and kind of squeeze everything in the aspect of now having everything is a experience.
Yeah.
So I'll have it that, and maybe it's even having it to where it's a different side, to where there's always maybe an A and a B in some form. I'm always going to have something like that. And then it's also to have, once that's in place, it's okay, now building off, well, what is this about? And how do I relate that to what, me, myself, and then having a little bit of, if it can be, I'm a huge blaxploitation film fan. I love shit like that. So if I can fit that within the layer of it, so it's kind of really taking pieces of those different things, and it's building off of that, but also going off the things that I like that, appeal to me when I see these old things. We love seeing, everybody loves record covers. Those look better than, a CD just because of the blown up art. So it's having that type of, those, it's not just, it's better releasing it in different formats for me. If it's CD, tape, so if I can, maybe even some damn a lacquer press, to have those different canvases and different mediums that can show a different way. Like if I got to have a bonus track to maybe even out and balance an album, then, hey, I'm gonna do that. Or just to have something to fit for a tape, just the way you enjoy a tape. You want to have that shit, maybe no skips or no, have it just all flow together. But it's kind of taking little pieces of everything, or how people, maybe just how they want to enjoy stuff, but just taking all those little pieces and put it into a little bit of everything, man.
That's what's up. No, you definitely hit him on the head, because, like I said, you hit the vinyl, you hit the cassette, you hit the CD, you hit the MP3 format, you hit it all. You hit the special shit, like we was just alluding to, the whole Valentine's Day, the vessel joint.
Yeah.
And you made that a fucking like game for cats out there. You know what I'm saying? What was this track? What was that track? There was a little trivia, Valentine's Day, like love hooks trivia, like get all these, like it almost went into like a radio format, like get all these correct. And then you're the caller, come through, get the little prize. So I think that was really live, limited shit. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't even buy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It's a little advanced for the vessel, just in advance. So it's like definitely with the Valentines to go into that, man, with the the heart vessels and things like that. So it kind of worked out, man, to where it aligned, and just a little something to fun, make it fun and interactive, to where it doesn't feel like, hey, yo, check out my album. And it's like, man, who's this guy? It's really meant to be that approachable thing. That's really how I want it. From now on, man, I have a lot of the things to where it's like the people who know, they're gonna know, man. People like yourself think, like the dot, man, man. So it's cool that people pick that up, man. And it's like sometimes, man, realizing you do have to damn spoon feed some people, man. So I have to realize that I have to balance that aspect, because especially if you're not somewhere in the spotlight, nobody wants to. It's like a genius who wrote a lot of books and he just dies, but he never releases or puts them out, past the driveway. So it's just like, well, he's a genius that never, so it's kind of like you got to make it palatable for people and make it enjoyable in that way. But then once that infiltrates, then it's like, okay, you're going to get it,
Cool. I got you. You got a few more minutes. I got a few more questions. What do you think about it?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. We good, man.
So cartoons is huge, yo. Like you've used Astro from the Jetsons. You've used like a Street Fighter font. You've used like even maybe some like Marvel like context. I know you used like a comic book slide from for Vessel, which we just spoke about. You've used a lot of these cartoons. Like, what's up with you and cartoons? What's going down with this?
Cartoons are always, they provide so much, man. Like just everything, a snapshot. I actually just started, not in a technical way, but just getting into comics, man. But just the art and of everything, but it is that snapshot in time. You can see exactly the shit they're talking about from the ads even to where, the snapshot in time. But just with cartoons, man, it's always, everybody can relate to cartoons. Everybody's watched cartoons. So it's cool to have that approachable thing. Anybody can see that, and it's familiar. That's the main thing. If it looks familiar and taking on that and kind of breathing in new life to like it is with Astro.
Yeah.
Is it is a lot of things where people associate, oh yeah, Astro like the dog, and they'll kind of bring it. So it's like I really started using a lot of that when I was with the early stuff. I Got It mixtapes, just different things like that. But yeah, and then kind of it's easier to work with as far as an extension of the art, where it's like I like painting a lot of cartoon stuff or doing my own spin on cartoons. So it's kind of like I like using that hand in hand.
Oh yeah. Let me describe for the Freaks and Geeks real quick. Like you just dropped a little single called Gravity, and the cover of Gravity, you utilized a chill ass fucking Astro, the dog Astro from the Jetsons, had a little pair of shades on, and you even incorporated the gravity aspect of a tree dropping an apple, but it wasn't just no tree, it was the giving tree. The giving tree is the key. Oh my goodness.
And
that's just to reflect the Freaks and Geeks. Like you draw on the giving tree is a tremendous text. You know, I mean, like, could it draw a tear? Maybe, but it's a text out of purity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's a beautiful, like at the end, Freaks and Geeks. If you don't know what the giving tree is, go fucking. I don't give a fuck if it's snowing in your fucking area. Go find a copy of the giving tree.
Yes.
You'll have a read that motherfucker and you'll be good.
It's by Shel Silverstein. Yeah, man. It's so dope that you picked that up, man, because it is, it started out with, the gravity, of course, the concept of just a girl holding you down like gravity. And then, it's also just a dedication to my girl as well. So it's kind of like, like you said, the giving tree to where how that applies in the aspect of, you have that female that is holding you down like gravity, but also providing things if, I don't want to spoil the story for y'all, man, no spoiler alert, but with the giving tree, when you read about, tree itself, it's giving these different things. But then also to have that little play on Newton's law as well, to where the apple fell from the tree. So it just to kind of incorporate all of that. That's what I kind of like to do with a lot of my, if I'm drawing stuff, kind of like, well, you can have just a regular picture that can get your attention, but then why not have another layer, almost like a punchline? Hey, we can use it different ways to where up within that, before you even listen to the song, you can get enough from that. If it's not touching on like a punchline, whether it's, something, a familiar thing that and then attaching that concept to it, man.
You should check out Snipe the Art. We've talked about him a little bit on the podcast. And Snipe the Art, what he does is he takes like a movie poster and he'll throw like a piece, a character that he fucks with on that movie poster. One I can talk about that I remember is a poster of Into the Dragon, and he threw a Hong Kong Phooey on that joint. It was like,
wow, that's dope.
So, Snipe the Art. He's done some very, very live shit. But what for cartoons? Like, who are some of your most memorable cartoons that you get down with? And then I'll share some with you because I love cartoons, man. From the Hanna-Barberas to the Nick.
That's the ones.
To the cartoons. The fucking Tom and Jerry's, the fucking the OG Warner Brothers head, the Looney Tunes, all that type of shit.
Yeah, man.
Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, all that type of stuff. But for you, tell the Freaks and Geeks, fill us in on some of your most influential cartoons that you fuck with. Because cartoons is a big basis here in the podcast. Like we've talked about a lot, but what about for you?
Man, I like let me see. Anything, the Hanna-Barbera, man. Like you said, those. I'm a huge fan of the Droopy. I love the Droopy and the Wolf. The Tex Avery Wolf, man.
Yeah. He's
all of those, man.
Top Cat, he was a bad man.
Yeah, Top Cat. Of course, the Hong Kong Phooey. And then
Super Secret Squirrel.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, man. I even like, the one you got behind you, man, the Dexter's Lab. Yup. I like that joint. Everybody, of course, SpongeBob. Yes. I remember watching the first fucking episode of that, man. So it's crazy to know how far that shit came, man, to where now it's just ingrained. It's like the new age of The Simpsons in the way of how people it's so recognizable. But of course, The Simpsons, throwing that in there. I always loved the Fairly Odd Parents, man.
Great.
Yeah, man. That was always dope. Sanjay and Craig. I love the art. The art of that, man, the Sanjay and Craig. I don't like Bob's Burgers. It's not really funny to me, man. It's not my steez, man. But Yeah, those are some of the cartoons, man.
Gotcha. Let me share it. So we was talking albums. Now I want to incorporate like albums and fucking cartoons with you. So we've talked about it a lot on this podcast. Hey Arnold. I was a huge Hey Arnold head. Now, Hey Arnold, the music was thrown together by a cat named Jim Lang. All right. Now he's you should check him out, and I'm gonna share a few things with you. I'm gonna share 2 albums with you. The first one, they're both the same album. Now this is the Hey Arnold music. This is volume 1, and I don't know if you fucked with Hey Arnold, if you got down with it.
Oh yeah, man. Dino Spumoni and all that, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is the first. This is a limited pressing of one of the Hey Arnold. This is volume 1. There's only been one album, and it's all the music by Jim Lang, and it's all the music for the show.
Damn.
And Freaks and Geeks, my fault if I muffle in and out. I'm throwing vinyl in front of my face real quick. Now the next one I'm going to show you is the same pressing, but it's you're gonna like the idea that goes into this joint. Now this is a liquid filled vinyl. Liquid.
Oh shit.
Now Freaks and Geeks, I've been talking to y'all about this in the past, and I just got it. So it took a hot minute. It took like maybe like 3 to 4 months to
man.
But this is the same record. Now, in Hey Arnold, I don't know if you remember, they had this soda called Yoo-Hoo, and it was like Yahoo. It was a chocolate-based soda. Now, this is meant to look like a old school Coke bottle or old school Yoo-Hoo bottle, and it's got a liquid in that joint. So let me see.
Holy shit.
Check that bad boy out. It's just impressed, but it's crazy.
Wow. Dang, is it heavier too? I've seen like the Friday the 13th Blood one, but man, that's looks like it'd be heavy, man.
It's thicker. I gotta say, Enjoy Records, I appreciate you. Since it's thicker, since it's heavier, I don't want to say frequencies, but it's a little bit more wonky. So I'm almost positive that'll weigh it down a little bit to not. It's almost out of tune a little bit because it's a different make, you know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
So
yeah,
because I've listened to it on the OG pressing, and then to compare it to this one, and being a music head myself, I can definitely tell it's not, the tuning is off a little bit. But
I wonder if the liquid is kind of taking the inertia or something like that to where it's swinging.
But it feels like it's glass. It don't even feel like vinyl. I'm sure it's not glass, but it's a different. It's weird because it's like 3 layers. You got the top vinyl, the bottom vinyl, and then the filler, and then they put like a little like sealer on the outside. It's very.
Oh shit.
It's very different, but yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you with the cartoons and stuff.
That's a gem, man. I like that, man. And especially, I actually did look up the Jim Lang when I saw the question, and then when I saw that, I was like, okay. With the Hey Arnold that I had seen, like I seen 2 people. You're the second person that I've seen with that, to where I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to check it out, because I always remember he had the jazz aspect behind it. I always liked that, the fucking sound system that he had. That was I need to actually find that. I'm sure they have the DVDs and stuff of them, but man.
Hey Arnold, you can hit them up on Hulu. It's all on Hulu, yo.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I'll have to.
There's just something about the soundtrack for Hey Arnold. Like you said, it was jazz. It was acid jazz. It was lo-fi. Like I said, it was from Jim Lang. And he's a bad man. Like, that's some of the music that just stuck with me from my childhood, from a show. And it was totally different because there was the musical aspect and there was the story aspect. And but they met right there.
Yeah, met very, very perfect, man. And he was a little audiophile himself, man. On the low.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see a few more questions on the albums. Then we'll talk about the Bodegas After Dark, and then we'll roll you out of here. But tell me about some of your favorite memories breaking open the seal on a new album, yo. What's up with that?
And that always was so shit. One of the main memories, man, was each time. This was when I was living in Hawaii, but instead of allowance, my pops would give me the choice. You can have allowance, you have $10, or I get you any CD you want.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, it's like, well, shit, CDs cost a little bit more than 10, or depending on the one I want. So I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna get a CD. Yeah. So this is around the time to where it was like I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Okay.
So that each time I was like, yo, I'm getting a Michael Jackson out. So it came to the point to where shit, my mom had to stop me. I'm about to buy Stranger in Moscow, the single. And I was like, yo, this is a new Michael Jackson. She's like, oh, hold up, man. This ain't even a damn album, man. So, but it just got in the habit of that, man. But really actually, breaking the package open, man. And of course, that's such a, it's such a gem. I know some people may force it now. I feel like, when you open up a record in the sound, but like, no, it really was that to where you were looking at this stuff because you needed to know. It wasn't just like, hey, he's the producer. You seen his face on Instagram, you see all this, and then now it's just like, oh, who made that? Like, you were actually finding out stuff to where more pictures, there wasn't a picture all the time of your damn favorite artist. So it was like, you never knew what you were going to see inside of the book. Yeah. So it was just kind of like that being a whole adventure. If it's lyrics, of course, more pictures. Sometimes if they had the little extra, little music card in there where the CD-ROM stuff was a big deal where you just put it in there. So it would just be a cool experience, man, to where that, of course, the allowance shit eventually grew into when you're opening up that CD, and it just has that personality to it, man, or that journey of how you acquired it. So that's mainly a lot of the memories to where, I can take from that with the packaging and just sitting down and just kind of, it really was going through the lyrics and actually learning this shit. Now let's start it over. And that was one of the main memories from that. Yeah, man.
It's a whole nother experience that a lot of people may not like take into consideration, but the people that do, they definitely, they reap the reward on that. So
absolutely, man. Hell yeah.
Yo, Freaks and Geeks, remember Greenbelt Botanicals, the official sponsor of the podcast. Hit them up at greenbeltbotanicals.com and in store. And make sure you use that Freaks and Geeks promo code FOOTDoctor15, all caps, FOOTDR15. Get yourself 15% off at checkout at greenbeltbotanicals.com. Now let's get back to the show. All right, Freaks and Geeks. Well, this is episode number 24 of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. We got our amazing, tremendous guest, Baby Aztro, coming through. Really appreciate him. And we got a few more things to talk about. And then we got to roll out of here because, the studio, Life or Death, it can be open 24 hours a day, but sometimes we got to close this bad boy down and let everybody get onto what they need to get onto. But we got a couple of more things we're going to talk with Aztro here. So Bodega After Dark, this is a huge thing. And when I started looking at the video of this, like it's all East Coast. This is NYC. This is just right in there. But what's the story behind Bodega After Dark? And just fill us in on the info, man.
So the Bodega After Dark, man, the way it kind of arranged, huge shout out to my homie Loser. LEWSR, that's the homie, man. He actually kind of plugged us with Jefferson's Bodega. Okay. So this was actually just the first one that we did. Okay. But shit, it came from Lutz where he just like, yo, call it Bodega After Dark. So I was just like, okay, bet we're gonna put it out under then. And then from there it was just kind of like, with Mikey coming in to where he was gonna perform the beats, play the beats and stuff. And it just really was like a lot of on the spot, man. Actually, the people who were there, shout out Zirk, shout out Flux Flow. She was out there.
In the back, just vibing and shit like that.
Yeah. Everybody was out there.
Shut it down?
Yeah.
Or what's up?
I think it was closed after that point. It was closed. So it was kind of like, I guess the people who were there, because we didn't put it out there like that. It wasn't, I guess, meant to be like that. It wasn't meant to be like a little secret set, but like it just happened organically, man, to where just, it worked out, with everybody out there. I know it was Zerk, my homie Soul. He was a huge part with shooting a lot of that. Soul Cinematics. And then I also had, who was also there? My homie Cousin Kush, he was out there. And then Lil Cutoff Jeans, he was out there. But it was just kind of like it just naturally happened where it's like, well, the people who are here. Oh, also homie Shig. He's there. What's actually, so fun fact, the guy I met there, his name was Shig or Shiggy. And he does crazy artwork, man. But he actually did the artwork for the new joint I have coming out, the Internet 2021. And that's going to be more of the instrumental stuff. So But yeah, everybody was out there, man. So where it's just like, all right, lock the doors. And then from there, it was just performing the album just front to back. And just kind of having fun with that.
The American Way EP, right? That's the one.
The American Way EP. Yes, sir.
Nice. And that dropped September of last year, right?
Yeah. It dropped around August. And it was just a short little EP. Oh, actually, that's actually when the record dropped. We initially released it as a cassette only at first. So it was just a cassette. Okay. Off-white looking joint. It was actually a 2-pack. So it was the dual. It was, right. Yeah. So it was the copy of the American Way on tape. And then after that, we had it came with 2. That was the actual last. So it was kind of like a little mixtape. Then it went to it was a little mixtape. American Way was a little mixtape, I would kind of put it. The EP mixtape. So we sold those actually bundled. It was when I dropped it, it was called the 2 for 10. So we did it just like that. The 2 for 10 special, bundled it up with some saran wrap. And then, you can get the 2 tapes for 2 for 10, man. And we actually sold out of the tapes, man, within a couple of days. So that was a nice little milestone, man, because it's like people hadn't heard it at all. We didn't have any type of leaks or anything or any kind of preview. So it was kind of like real dope just selling it off that. And then we bounced back with the, the record and then having the CD and then actually put it on the streaming sites and stuff like that.
Now the 2 for 10 ID, that's live. That's old school gutter right there.
Yes, sir, man.
Let's see. So I would ask you about your major East Coast influence. I already have though, and you've already shared it with us. So that's not to be misunderstood or mistaken. It's there. It's prominent. There's those past musicians out there that definitely paved the way and influence the vision. But so let's see. What's your favorite thing to snag in a bodega? All right. What's that go-to line? For me, when I think about bodegas, it's fucking Arizonas. Those Arizona tea grapes, the watermelons and shit like that. That's what. But what about for yourself?
I gotta pick up some Nihilators, man.
All right, cool.
And that's Nile, and then and Laters, Lataz, But yeah, the Nihilators you gotta get, man, and then a honey bun.
Oh yeah.
You gotta get a honey bun, man. It's of course, you can get the Hostess ones, man, but if you can find something that's not a name brand, the honey bun's gonna be good, man. So those, you got to have that. Actually, man, this was probably one of the great. I fell in love with honey buns, man, when I was in New Orleans. And they had a damn special, man, where everywhere they would have them either 3 for $1 or 4 for $1, man. These honey buns. And I used to be like, yo, what? This shit was mind blowing. It was just phenomenal, man. So yeah, definitely. If I could get a sponsorship for honey buns, man, I'm going to have to work that out, man.
No, honey buns is definitely an old school snack. That's the old school. That's the hood snack. That's the favorite snack. I remember that shit. I remember we was on the athletic spectrum, in freshman year. We were on different campuses. So the freshmen was on a separate campus, and then 10 through 12 was on a different campus, and. We used to squad over from the freshman campus to the high school for practice after school, and we would stop at a little store, and we always pick up the honey buns and shit, just wreck. We were gonna re-up on these these honey buns and shit, and then go do a practice. We were just fucking ourselves. But I don't know if it was practice. It was more so. I don't think we were dumb enough to do it. I think it was just workouts, off season shit. So
okay.
We're gonna get some snacks, some hot Cheetos, and we would just go hit a couple of sets and then roll the fuck out. So
yeah.
The honey bun was definitely a stick.
Man.
Golly. Oh shit. All right, so we got Star Radio 80. You're soon to be tuned in to Star Radio 88.1. Tell us about.
I'm gonna need that little sound clip, man.
We'll get it clean for you. But what's going on with Star Radio 88.1? Why radio? Why'd you choose to incorporate that? Because I love not the business, but the realm of radio. That's really why I'm talking to you today. My ventures and my experiences with local radio cats and even local radio stations, whether it's winning prizes, being a prize whore, that's what they call them, or going into the fucking station and just chilling with the personalities. But tell us about Star Radio 88.1.
So Star Radio 88.1 was it was the start of getting the instrumentals out.
Okay.
Initially,
And
of course,
that just started last year, right?
Yeah, just started last year. That was when, of course, started taking the production. Well, actually not taking it serious, man. I actually been producing since 2005.
Okay.
When it was Fruity Loops, before it was FL Studio and stuff like that. But with that, it was kind of like a bunch of fucking beats that I had, man, where it was just, it's trying to find, I wouldn't say I have a set style. And, I don't put that as a thing to brag about. It's really in a thing of like, and I get asked that sometimes with rap, well, how do you find your sound? And it's in that way of, well, you don't really find that until maybe you're comfortable within yourself and you can sit back comfortably and say, nah, I'm okay with that. The way it's laid out, the way you did it, and not have to doctor it up too much, and you can feel comfortable with it, whether you have to show it off or whether, it's just speaking to it. So, it was kind of that, man. So I wanted to have something to where I could kind of maybe divide it. It eventually led to that, dividing it into different type of themes and different styles and things like that. So from there, it was just kind of, it took shape to where it was a long process of kind of dividing them out, because some of them it was just a big pile of beats. And then it helped narrowing it down to where it was, shit, this sounds more of a boom bap style. This is more of a chill vibe. So it wasn't to rush it and all dumb it out. Like I told you, man, before, I was really bad with that, just kind of throwing stuff out, man, or putting it out just in a way of just, hey, here it is, listen to all of it. So I wanted to give it more of a experience for people. I couldn't release it on the streaming sites and stuff because it had just too many sound clips and samples. But it was the thing of merging what I like, with film and movies I like.
You do that a lot. I heard that in a lot of samples and a lot of posts. It's cool.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. So it's kind of putting that together for each one. Okay, I can have a theme of this that can back with maybe it's a somber type of tone, and then actually give it that type of style of music. So it kind of flowed into that. And then I had it available. I actually released them for each Bandcamp Friday. Actually, I was a start of when I first released it. So it kind of worked out to where when June was the first one. And then, it might have been July 4th.
Yeah.
July weekend. So I did that for the first one, and then each Bandcamp Friday was dropping a new volume, each one, and then it was just one long track to where it was no skips. You just got to listen to it. A quick little, different duration. Some were 30 minutes. Max went up to like 55 minutes, and that was volume 5. But and that was more of the West Coast feel and stuff like that. But it was just to kind of have something where you could throw on in a commute and then just kind of listen to it for everything, whether it plays out like a show, but then music. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what it turned into, man.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it reminds me a lot, and you got to check this cat out too. He's from Dallas. Debbie Does Disco. It's Brandon Epica. Debbie Does Disco. Brandon Epica. He was a guest on Volume, like in the past, Volume 2. I think episode 8. Okay. I think you really found this shit, man. His shit is on Mixcloud. It's very similar to the realm of your Star Radio 88.1, and
I'm talking about.
It's clean. It's clean like that. So I think you'd really get down with it. And he's spinning records. He's spinning vinyl, doing vinyl sets, and they're damn near like 2.5 hours sometimes, yo.
Damn.
Clean ass sets, and I like. His shit's really going down. But your Star Radio 88, it reminds me a lot of his stuff. So definitely check that one out. But have you ever been in a radio station?
Man, I've been actually a couple times, man, maybe about 2-3 times. Funny thing, man, it was if anybody remembers Power 106.7, I think it was San Antonio, but it was, and when they hosted the Chamber. And that was actually a little like freestyle thing to where you would just battle people on the air, man. It sounds, yeah, man. But they would edit it out, things like that, and shit, man. I'm not a good freestyler, man. It's a time and a place. I'm more of a written cat, man. Yeah. So, but I did that. Let me see. There's like quite a few people when they were actually doing it. When I ran into them, kind of just off the whim sometimes. Like I know. Millie Mars was really running it a few times when running that, or Young Mills. And then he was going against the guy Biggs. I remember them, all people out there. I actually went to high school with Millie Mars. Yeah. But Yeah, it was kind of that, man. I went against some guy named D1 and I didn't win, but because it just wasn't a good freestyle, man. It was just, I didn't stick to the thing and it's just terrible, man. But it was just cool exposing that of just knowing, like, I guess having that thing of people can't figure me out, man, in that way. Cause somebody was like, oh shit, man, I heard your music, man. So I'm kind of, I didn't know what the fuck to expect. So I deleted all my shit. I'm not trying to have, so I'm like, oh, okay. But, to bomb like that, and it was just kind of like, oh shit. The irony of that to where it's like, and after that, me and homie became cool and stuff like that. He's actually DJing and stuff now and hosting clubs and stuff, but it was that time. And then I actually went on for True North. Shout out to homie Eddie, man. I actually, he had us on the radio for that. And that was kind of cool. I forgot the damn station, man. I'm terrible with stuff like that, but that was a good little thing, man. Not too many times though, just those two.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and the only experience I got is it's a station called 93.7 KLBJ, and my goodness, I've been in there. They call it the Audience of One. We just chill out. They're doing their show. It's a little comedy talk show and shit like that.
Oh,
hosted
that's
up
dope.
High as a telephone pole action.
Yeah.
Oh man, just cool. But yeah, I love a good radio, man. Love a good talk radio station, and a music radio station too. Really bring it all together. All right, we got to close it out. So this is the gear towards like the future. All right. So what's the plans and the approaches for this year?
So for this year, man, it's definitely going to be. I don't want to date it on that. I am. Me and Mikey are definitely working on. It'll be a new track for sure coming out, but we're going to start working on the. It'll be an LP for the American Way. Kind of just building more off that, more on the tone and stuff of just that subject nature of that.
It's going to be PBS Records? Is that what y'all
saying? Yeah. It'll be definitely something on the PBS Records with me and Mikey. We're definitely going to have something out this year. I do have the Vessel. That's kind of in the chamber. I'm waiting until people, if they can get the video up to 500, shit, they'll get it. But it's probably might look March 19th to be probably the pre-order date for that. And then probably be available April 2nd. So on that Bandcamp Friday is when it'll go live, but it'll be probably the Internet 2021. The plan is actually, it'll be both of those dropping, man. So I haven't really told anybody yet but it'll be both dropping at the same time for Internet 2021. And then also that Vessel EP. Yeah. So you'll be able to get the best of both worlds, man. So it's having the Vessel. It's almost like that Vessel. You need something to hold, man. So that's going to be, everybody knows me as a rapper, but that Vessel is a nice little entryway of having the Internet 2021. Just to mix, if you don't know what the hell to expect, you don't know what it is, man. It's the internet. So, but it's going to be instrumental stuff, real chill, more Max shit, more the West Coast type of vibe. Just kind of more of that, man. I did rap on two of that, kind of hosted it. It's actually like a little mix between maybe Star Library mixed with just maybe instrumental, more chill, but more of me put on there. So that's kind of those for this year, man.
Cool. Let's see. As an artist, as an artist, what do you hope to achieve with those insights? What's going down with that?
I would say more independence, man. Independence and create more of that foundation, man. Everything now is like it's DIY. From creating the. Yeah, man. So it's doing all of that. I mean, from the art and those times when I'm producing, like the Vessel, and even when it's getting gloomy after sun. It's everything is like I've done that, man. It's creating the art to where it's burning the fucking CDs to dubbing the tape. You're getting things to where I've actually touched, and it's it's meaning and more it's applying those things, or you'll hear more of in the tracks to where it's until it's yours. It'll never make sense to y'all, just in that part to where, it's something to, no matter what you do, nobody's going to understand that work you're putting in, but it just feels so much better when you're doing that. Much like you're doing the podcast, man, it's just like, it's your baby. You know what I'm saying? You have your own stamp on it, man. And, the way you have the rollout of everything, man, it's that's your stamp. Like I've never ever, been on a podcast like this, man, to where it's like, man, I love the fucking structure and I love how you have it to a T. It's not down to a T plan, but it's just, man, it's stuff to go off of, man. So it's like, having that, man, really solidifying the DIY and the independence type of thing.
Definitely. All right, all right. Well, you got any shout outs? We're giving some shout outs, but what about any final shout outs you got for anybody else out there? What's going on?
Yeah, man. Shout out to my homie Mikey Strange, man. That's my brother, man. Shout out to my homie Loser, Soul Cinematics, man. He definitely helped me a lot with the Gray album and fucking a whiz with the videos. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. All the homies that's kind of holding me down, man. Just appreciate that, man.
No, the videos are sick, Jay. Like I've seen them, not all of them. Just tried to cycle through the catalog and see what's going on. Because again, Freaks and Geeks, this is Baby Aztro. The catalog is it's in depth. There's a lot of stuff out there, and to try, like in my process of setting this whole thing up and trying to just prepare for our little chat, I tried to go back and find the root and just the very beginning. And I feel like the root I got was fucking Freebase Samples 1, but there's more to it. So that's why
it's a start. It's a good start of it, man. He really, Mike is a huge part as far as in getting into before it was all mixtape stuff, man, rapping on other people's beats. So yeah, with Mikey was a huge start of like, yo, he was the one that pushed it. Hey, let's do an EP, man. Stop rapping on fucking other people's beats. So from there, man, that really changed the whole attitude towards, the stuff I'm creating, man.
Cool. All right. Well, Aztro, tell the Freaks and Geeks where they can find you. There's a whole lot. I mean, you got the YouTube, you got the IG, you got the Bandcamp, you even got the website, but where can the Freaks and Geeks out there find you?
Freaks and Geeks. You can find me at Baby Aztro on anything. And that's Aztro spelled with the Z. Aztro for zero, taking risks often. It's not with an S. It's not a Houston Astro. It's not that. It's with the Z. But BabyAztro. If you Google it, but babyaztro.com. It's on IG. It's that on Twitter. It's on YouTube. Baby Aztro, man. You'll find it. And then if you want to find stuff under the Freebase samples, just find it through the website. That'll be easiest. But Freebase, PHREE. Bass, BASS, and samples. It's spelled crazy, man, but it's easier to link through the site where you can find more of that.
It's spelled crazy, but at the end of the venture, it makes sense, Freaks and Geeks. There's a lot of good shit on there. Yo, I love it. Any upcoming dates? And I know we're on like a different realm, a different spectrum right now. Any upcoming dates or any special things that you got looking forward to in the future, release-wise or personality-wise? You know what I'm saying? What's going on there?
The shows... I'm chilling on the shows and shit like that, man. I mean, it's not like I have many people that are throwing them now because just of the state, but I definitely there will be some type of virtual release party. I just got to plan that shit out when it comes to the Internet 2021 and the Vessel. Yeah. Just to have a little something to where it's just having fun, man. This is, I always like having those release parties just to really just share that joy, that experience with everybody. So I would definitely like to do the same with the upcoming thing. And that'll be hopefully around that April 2nd weekend.
Cool. That's good. Well, Freaks and Geeks, you heard it here live. You heard it here official. We're still snowed in, but we're coming at you live. We're coming at you direct. The studio live. We're just trying to crack it out. So, Aztro, Baby Aztro, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. And Freaks and Geeks, go follow him, go support him, go do everything. There's a lot coming out. And stick around for a second, and we'll see you out there in just a little bit. Hold on. Let me wrap it up with the Freaks and Geeks. Well, Freaks and Geeks, that's all she wrote. Once again, I want to thank my guest for episode number 24 of the podcast, Baby Aztro. Really appreciate you just coming through, chopping it up with myself, and got a lot of insight from you, man. I love your creative aspect. I love your just creative insight, the vision that you got going down as a musician, as a rapper, as an artist, as a producer. Like I said, I love the style and the detail you put into all the music formats that you put out. So Freaks and Geeks, make sure you go check them out. Hit the podcast description, and you're gonna find his Instagram info, his Twitter info, and his personal website, music website info, and some YouTube links as well to go support Baby Aztro. Really appreciate it again, man. Anytime you want to come on through, make sure just drop me a line, and you're down. You're for another visit with the 512 Foot Doctor. Again, shout out to Greenbelt Botanicals. Thank y'all very much for your continuous support of the podcast. And Freaks and Geeks, make sure you go to greenbeltbotanicals.com or in store and use that promo code to get 15% off at checkout. FootDoctor15, FOOTDR15. And they're going to take care of you over there, Greenbelt Botanicals. And now for the closing credits, Freaks and Geeks. Thank you for listening, and remember, new episodes are released every Wednesday at 6 a.m. Now check it out. Do me this favor. Go subscribe to the Doctor's Orders podcast on whichever podcast platform that you prefer, and make sure that you leave a comment and rate the podcast while you're there subscribing. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram, on the IG, the 512 Foot Doctor, THA 512 FOOTDR, and follow the podcast Instagram at the Doctor's Orders Podcast, THADRSORDERS and continue to tell a freak or a geek that you know about the podcast. Remember, the Doctor's Orders Podcast is a Life or Death Studios production. Freaks and Geeks, until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Don't be late.